Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all friends and family watching from around the country. There we go. Friends and family watching from around the country, welcome to High School Nationals. This is the This is the third session for the 2024 championship here in beautiful Baton Rouge, Louisiana, hosted by the Cajun Prep powerlifting team and directed by Coach Travis Werner. We are going to be on all three platforms today. And before we get started with our normal intro, going to give a quick introduction. My name is Nick Stevens Jr., aka Gainendorf on Instagram, USAPL coach, competitor, commentator, and a newly minted referee as of 2 weeks ago, joined by the one and the only
Adriana Davis. We've been commentating all of the sessions except on Thursday because I was not locked into my flight. I wasn't able to make it, but since then we've been seeing all the action at this year's high school nationals, the biggest high school nationals yet. Over 850 lifters registered. And I'm super excited to see this final session of day 3, where we are going to have in the equipped varsity female division the 67.5 and 75 kilo weight classes, as well as the raw varsity female 60 kilo weight class and the raw varsity male 90 kilo weight class.
Yes, and these are going to be split up across all three platforms. So we're going to do our best, Adriana and I, to keep you updated on all the action on all the platforms while giving you all some awesome insight into what could be going on the platform, what's going on inside the lifter's head, the coach's head, some possible opinions on different attempt selections and things like that. All right, so first up, ladies and gents, we have, well, actually, let's do a quick rundown of how this session is going to go. That way you at home can follow along. For all of our lifters today, we have 3 lifts, or 3 power lifts: the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. First up is the squat. And so every lifter is organized into a flight. And today we have 2 flights per platform. And what you do is when you're ready to start squats, the first person in the flight will hit their opener or hit their opening attempt. We'll go down the line of the flight. Everyone hits their opening attempts. And then we'll go back to the top of the order. Folks hit their seconds and thirds, so on and so forth, through bench and deadlifts for all of the flights. Now, Adriana, can you tell us a little bit about the squat from a referee perspective, what we're really looking for here?
So for the squat, we're going to look for the lifter to come out once their time has started. They're going to have 1 minute to get the first command, which is the squat command. So before the lifter gets the squat command, as a referee, you are looking for the lifter to walk out with the weight, stand up straight, have the knees locked, and then you're going to get that squat command. You go down with the squat, you hit depth, and depth is defined as when the hip crease at your hip joint breaks parallel with the top surface of the knee. You cannot just go parallel. You cannot be an inch or 2 high. You've got to break parallel. So that is going to be the most common infraction on squat. And once you hit depth, you come back up, and then you have to hit kind of a similar position that you do to get the first command. You've got to stand up with the squat, stand up erect, have your knees locked, and then you're going to get that rack command.
All right, and now, thank you, Adriana, for that beautiful analysis. We are going on to our action, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep you updated with what's going on right now on our platform. So, platform 1, Miss Sienna Greer, representing the girls' varsity 60 kilo weight class. She's going to be taking 85 kilograms for an opening squat attempt. That's 185 pounds. Sorry, 187 pounds, excuse me. Malachi Walker on platform 2. He's going to be opening with 187.5 kilos, so that's 413 pounds. And then we're over on platform 3, Mr. Aiden David. His opener squat is going to be 468 pounds, folks. These are going to be extremely, extremely heavy lifts, especially that we're going to see on platform 3.
Yep, I mean, we are already on openers, kind of close to that 500-pound mark. And these lifters on platform 3 are going to be in the 90 kilo division, at least in this flight.
So if y'all can't hear in the background, that is the pirate of powerlifting, Gino Biancheri.
So what's going on there on platform 3? Aiden kind of came out a little bit late, and he's only got 3 seconds to get that squat command. And unfortunately, he is going to time out. That referee is going to tell him to rack the weight. So what happened there is, like I said, you've only got 1 minute to get that first command, the squat command. And Aiden there was a little bit late to the platform, had to run out. Now, if he were to get that squat command by the last second before that minute was up, he would be perfectly fine to start the lift, but unfortunately he, what we call timed out, and that's gonna be a no lift for him. So that really throws off the game when you time out on your opening squat. And it's kind of a big question there as to, what do you do after that? Do you go up? Do you just keep the same weight? I would caution to keep the same weight, especially since you didn't take that opener. You're gonna have to wait a whole 15 minutes again to do it.
Or you could do what Sam Blackwell did on day 1, time out your opener, hit it in the warm-up room, and then go back out for your second attempt.
Yep, you could do that.
There is no one-size-fits-all, folks. And especially when we're at the high school level, a lot of these kids, this is going to be either their first, second meet. And so it's really important that when we're on the national stage that we're starting off on a good foot. And when we miss our opener, you know, on something like a timeout or something like a technique issue where we miss a command, that definitely throws a wrench in the game plan. And that's going to be a conversation that's going to come down to the handler and the lifter for how well the lifter's feeling and what they're good for on the day.
Yeah, and that's an important caveat. On the day is what we're aiming for. So you could just take, some people say, hey, I'm going to hit exactly what I hit in training. I'm going to hit 5 kilos PRs from that, especially these young lifters. And that's just not how it goes. The platform is completely different from what you're going to do in the gym, just because of so many factors. You've got people timing out, like you said, you've got travel, you've got a cut, so many factors going in that make meet day completely different from training.
That's right, and we've got, moving into our equipped lifters over on platform 1, McKinsley Thomason, 308 kilos. So folks, like we said at the very start, we do have equipped lifting in this session, and so what that is in comparison to raw powerlifting, it's most primarily seen in the squat and the bench. And so our folks that are coming up to the squat now, as we see Miss McKinsley, she's wearing what looks like a really, really tight suit. You can see it really squeezing her thighs. You saw her kind of almost waddle to the platform there, and that's because of those knee wraps there. Excuse me. That's because of those knee wraps and that squat suit. Now, that's a little bit different from a normal powerlifting singlet. Normal powerlifting singlets are like a polyester nylon type blend. Oh, no. These squat suits are straight canvas. They're unforgiving. They do not stretch. And so whenever you're lifting, one of the main keys is being able to lift against the confines of the suit, especially on squat. Because that suit is so restrictive, it's going to be even harder to satisfy that depth.
For sure. I mean, these lifters, we can see it demonstrated on Mia in platform 1, legit fighting against that suit to reach down and hit depth. So restricted, but it adds those extra kilos, which makes equipped worthwhile. And Mia, in the 67.5 kilo equipped division, hits her opener, good lift. Good lift at 142.5. That is a big opening lift.
As a 67.
Yes, as a 67.5 kilo lifter. These are big openers here that we're seeing on platform 1.
Up next on platform 2, Gavin Neville, 429 pounds, representing the CBA Colts powerlifting team. And we've got Jack Dolezal on platform 3, opening with 501 kilograms, folks, for the men's 90 kilogram weight class. That's more than double body weight for an opener. Kind of nutty. Coming up to platform, or I guess waddling up to the platform now. I call that the equipped waddle. This is Miss Jocelyn James. This is 147.5, coached by Kyle Lehman. And that is going to be 325 pounds.
Jocelyn has that very slow descent into the hole. It's a bit of a fight as she gets out of the hole, and that's the thing with equipped lifting. It is so volatile. Any little thing can go wrong, and unfortunately that is going to be a no lift for Jocelyn. 2-1. I believe it was a depth call. And
so we've got a red card and a blue card underneath. So there's one depth call there from one of the side judges. The other side judge saw a little bit of up and downward motion, I imagine.
So now that throws a wrench in her whole game plan. I mean, you never plan to come out and miss your opening attempts. On equipped lifting, it does make it a little more interesting where since you have to be so technically sound, you will see more missed attempts in equipped.
And not only that, but even with those missed lifts, you can kind of get away with a little bit bigger jumps with equipment because it is supportive, different than a normal powerlifting singlet where it's, just to cover you. A squat suit is going to restrict you. It is essentially like wearing a really, 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 really tight knee sleeve, but around like your body.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of missed lifts, just a minute ago, Tara in the 67.5 kilo weight class missed her opener. Again, on equipped, you're going to see that a little more often because it's so hard to hit depth, and she did get a depth call there, and it shakes things up because she is forecasted in first place, but she's going to have to come back and hit that squat on her second attempt.
So you mentioned forecasted. Can you talk a little bit about what that means?
Sure. So a forecasted total, if you go on LiftingCast.com and look up day 3 of USA Powerlifting High School Nationals, you can follow along with the score sheet of the meet, essentially. So LiftingCast will show you the current score sheet, which will show you the current placings, as well as the forecasted placings. So that forecasted total is going to show part of the story, especially early on in the meet. As we're getting into these openers, it's going to give a little bit of an indication as to who is potentially going to be in contention for the top spot, the top 5 spot, the top 10, whatever you're looking for. So the forecasted, it tells part of the story, but it doesn't decide placing at all. There's so much lifting left to go. It just gives you a little indication. Like I said, there's so much lifting left to go. I mean, things happen. People bomb out. People only get their openers, while other people may take big jumps versus others who may hit their opener, potentially go 3 for 3, but having to take small jumps because of a hard opener. So forecasted tells part of the story, but it can be a trap, especially if you're a coach and you're a new coach and you're coaching someone at a national level meet, looking at the forecasted. If you look at that and start to freak out a little bit, then you could put your lifter in trouble by pulling yourself out of the pocket to reach for those people in the top placings.
That's right. And folks, we are into the second attempts on all 3 platforms. Ezra Strassman representing, actually, I'm not sure who he was representing. The name went too fast, but 202.5, that's going to be a good lift. And now we're going to see folks take a variety of different kinds of jumps like you were talking about. Some folks like to do super big jumps, and I guess you could define super big, quote unquote, as anything above 10 to 12.5 kilos. Obviously dependent upon body weight, of course.
And dependent upon the actual load on the bar. I mean, 10 kilos is completely different for someone who's opening up at 220 kilos. That seems perfectly standard. Whereas if a lifter's opening with 90 kilos, then that's a bigger jump,
right,
relatively, percentage-wise. Oh, and on platform 1, Carolyn fights up with 87.5. That's a good lift for her. And we are already on second attempts on all 3 flights.
I believe we've got, well, I was going to say, I believe we have a shortened flight list, but I don't believe we do.
I don't think so. And Cole, this is interesting. On platform 3, if you're going to pay attention, Cole Browder missed 205 on his opener, likely a technical issue like depth or jumping a command, taking a 15-kilo jump to 220 kilos.
Let's see what happens here.
Oh!
So, folks, this is where we start to see some interesting things happen. We were seeing all day, and we've been kind of saying this the whole weekend. Generally, when you miss your opener or you miss any lift, the general rule of thumb is to try to at least retake that weight, because what you don't want to do is kind of what happened there on platform 3, where we go up a little bit. I mean, that wasn't necessarily a little bit, that was about 15 kilos. So
yeah.
that's 33 pounds, which is a very sizable jump on squat. But taking that 15 kilo jump, after missing the opener and then missing that 15 kilo jump, you're not allowed to go back down to your opener.
No,
so
you're
now
not.
you have to hit that on your third in order to stay in the game.
Yeah, I mean, when that sort of situation happens, you're risking bombing out. And bombing out is when you're going to be disqualified from the competition. You're not going to be able to register a total. Because to register a total, you've got to hit at least one lift in every discipline. So, yeah, I mean, that is a recurring storyline, especially with, I think, these young lifters. It's possibly a little bit more common where you see they miss their opener, go up anyways, trying to make up ground, you know, potentially just jumping to the second attempt saying, hey, I'm going to get it, it'll be fine. And then sometimes you can miss it on strength or have another technical issue and have to grind out the lift.
That's right. We're seeing the same story play out on platforms 2 and 3. Justin Segura is going to take 190. He's going to retake that. Aiden David, missing 212.5, goes up to 220. Segura, that's going to be a no lift,
No
unfortunately,
lift
on depth.
All three referees agree.
Now,
that is a no lift.
One thing to mention here, I don't know if we're going to, we'll wait till third attempts. Here comes Aiden David. Another lad, 212.5, still going up 7.5 kilos. So that's a little bit more of a reasonable jump here. Let's see what he does. I fear that may not be high enough. Based on the depth calls from our judges today, I wonder if that's going to go. Unfortunately, no. That is going to be a no lift on platform 3.
He might have
got it. No. He got it. Sorry. Just saw one red.
Yes, he had one referee with the red light. And thankfully that pays off for him. And that's the thing. If just one more referee had called that a no lift, then he wouldn't have had the squat right now. He would have been risking bombing out. So that's kind of the dicey proposition that you take by going up after missing your opener. Sometimes it pays off, like it did in Aiden's case. Other times it doesn't. Like in Cole's case, Cole's going to have to come out and repeat that from a few lifters ago.
Up on platform 2, Peter Cosmopoulos, same type beat, 187.5. But this is a 5 kilo jump to the second attempt. So again, we're getting a little bit more reasonable going from first to second. However, the good rule of thumb is to try and retake that first attempt.
And see, with Peter, it was dicey. It was a tough attempt. Let's see what the judges say. He's on.
As in the game.
On the board. In the game.
And Kiwi Bar coming up on platform 1.
Kiwi's in the 67.5 equipped division. Oh, having to fight through the sticking point.
Oh, no.
Oh, what happened?
It rolled off the back. Oh, but they're going to give her a good lift. Okay, good. It did roll off her back after the rack command, so it will count. We did get a depth call from the front, though, however.
Now on platform 3, John Strach, coached by Arian Messi Kamesi. Handling him is Kevin Swarano. Jumping up to 227.5 kilos, and that moves how a second should. A second attempt, you're going to want it to be not too hard to the point where you're grinding it out, wasting energy, but not too easy where you have no indication of where to go from there. So I like the jumps there that Kevin took. 227.5. I wonder where he's going to go from there. And now, again, same storyline on platform 1. Jocelyn missed her opener on depth. Didn't decide to go up, just decided to repeat. I like this call.
Same deal on platform 3. Oh, that's not going to be high enough.
Low enough.
That's what I meant.
High enough. Oh,
never mind.
It's good. Never mind.
That's why I'm not a national level ref.
Whew. And we said it just a couple minutes ago. With equipped lifting, it is going to be very hard for them to find that depth. And most of them are going to be coming down so slow, like Jocelyn did. And it honestly gives the referees more time to look for that depth. Now on platform 3, unfortunately, Preston Smith stood up with 227.5, but missed it again. The attempts in this session thus far are not too hot. Hopefully we can turn that around. Mia, platform 1, jumping to 152.5 kilos. Looks like she hit depth. Have to see what the judges say. Lift is good for Mia. And Mia currently slated in second place in the 67.5 kilo equipped division, but there's a bit of a battle here, a bit of a spread. Tara is going to come out next. Currently, she's forecasted in first, but she needs this lift. She's not on the board yet. She could be the favorite for taking the title, but she has to make this lift. If she does not make a squat, she's going to bomb out. She's not going to be a national champion.
Look, that looks pretty clean to me.
I think it
don't
looked
know.
good. I think it looked deep enough.
3 good lights.
There we go.
3 white lights. The lift is good.
She's in
I
the
mean,
meat.
white lights are good, yes.
She's in the meat.
Ooh, we've got our first signified state record attempt for Mackenzie Thomason on platform 1. I'm trying to see if I can hear what state she's from.
Yeah, this is a huge squat, 155 kilos, and Mackenzie is competing as a guest lifter, but she weighed in about 55 kilos. Wow, and that blew up. That was super fast for Mackenzie. 3 white lights. And again, on platform 3, same storyline. Noel Curtin missed 225, opting to take a 7.5 kilo jump to 232.5 instead. I hope he gets on the board. I hope he breaks the trend on platform 3 of lifters missing their opener, missing their second again. Let's see it, Noel. Come on.
I wonder if that was high enough as well, especially when you have 5 spotters. It's a little bit harder to tell there, and it is. That's going to be a no lift there, so that puts Noel in a very tough position. And, you know, going along with that attempt, going along with those attempt calls, I wonder if there's a little bit of a different mindset within high school powerlifting. You know, maybe they see these lifts as more individual rather than building up, and so maybe they're saying, you know, oh, maybe I missed that opener. That's okay. Put it away. I have this already slated for my second. Why don't we go ahead and take it? Well, I wonder if that doesn't work. I mean, we haven't seen many bomb outs, but if that doesn't work, generally they probably try to stay there in order to get on the board.
Yes. But it's the dicey proposition when you miss your opener. You really have to have a conversation with your lifter if you're going to elect to go up, if you're going to go up all the way to your planned second, or if you're going to kind of go in the middle of those two. And it's really dicey. It depends on, these are high school level lifters, right? They don't have a ton of experience in the game, but some of them are more experienced than others. Some of them, this might be their 3rd or 4th high school national meet. Others, this might be their first national meet. I think if it's their first national meet, as a coach, I would probably just, if you miss a lift, just repeat it. But if you're a little bit more experienced, if your lifts are clean as well, if you have some problems with depth, I probably would not go up. But if your lifts are clean, if it was just a weird technical error like jumping a command that you know you're not going to do again, then that's when you can kind of have that conversation about taking a jump anyways after missing an attempt.
Speaking of missing an attempt, Sienna Greer over on platform 1, since we are on to 3rd attempts over on platform 1, she retook 90 kilos to solidify 11 more pounds to her total. She come off the platform super happy with that, and we'll see her back again for bench. Here's Ezra Strassman from Nina Powerlifting. Ezra done a pretty decent job across his squats, 2 for 2 so far, going into his 3rd, adding 5 kilos, so 11 pounds, like we said.
And that's the thing, when you're a lifter who's building that momentum, making attempts, it really makes a difference when a lot of your competitors are out here missing attempts either on technicalities or strength. When you're going 3 for 3 in the squats, that builds up that momentum, that mentality that you can go 3 for 3 in the bench. And ultimately, if you hit all of your lifts, that's going to give you the biggest total you can on the day.
Absolutely, and it's I want to say it's rare, it is fairly common, but it's a very difficult thing to do, especially when it's your 1st or 2nd time on this big of a stage. And Ezra had to get picked up from the bottom of that squat there, but that was a solid attempt at 207.5.
Oh.
Now Cole Browder, he's going to come behind and retake 220 kilos. So we missed 205, went up to 220, missed it on strength. And so we're going to retake 220. We're going to see what he's able to dig.
I've seen miracles before. I've seen miracles where lifters, they have a less than 5% chance of getting the lift, and somehow through the grit that they have, they're able to get it. So let's see that from Cole. Hopefully he can get this. Looks like he stuck it. Oh my gosh!
There we go, see?
And Cole Browder, let's see what the judges say.
That's a good lift. He
Good
is
lift,
on the
and
board.
he stays in the meet by the skin of his teeth. 2 white lights. Wow.
I don't want to say he's lucky, but it's very fortunate that it turned out that way. Because had he not gone the 220, had he missed it on depth again, he would be out of the meet. Vincent Cardoso with a smooth grind on 2. That's 479, and that's going to be...
Oh.
Hold on. That was a good lift. Ooh, Gabrielle Mills gonna need some help coming out of the hole there.
Unfortunately on 3, Taj misses his 3rd attempt, only walks away with his opener. But what I would say if I were the coach in that situation is, hey, at least you got your opener, at least you're on the board. You didn't have the squat session that you wanted, but if you maybe adjust your openers down on bench, if strength is just feeling off, go 3 for 3 on bench, 3 for 3 on deadlift, you ended off the day well. You just pretty much, if you have a squat session that doesn't go your way, or any event really, squat or bench, you just gotta take it out of your mind. Focus on what's forward.
Only forward.
Only forward.
Scarlett McCoy's gonna need some help coming out of the bottom of that squat. Got to the hole and gravity decided it wanted to show up today for that squat. But Scarlett does have 2 out of 3 of her squats. And now on platform 2, Justin Segura. He's gonna retake 190 for the 3rd time. And now both times have been on depth. And so now that he's hit it twice, there's 2 schools of thought here. It could be a little bit easier now that he knows he's hit it, but it could also be a little bit harder because that's essentially your 3rd heavy single.
Yeah, exactly. Those 2 attempts could have taken a little bit out of him in terms of energy. Hopefully he can come back and hit this and stay in the meet.
Bars loaded for Justin. Here he comes. Keith Stroud's going to be walking out 225 kilos, so 496 pounds.
Unfortunately, no lift on platform 3. Justin, the crowd's going to get behind him.
Same thing, too, on platform 3. Come on, Justin. All right, so it's easy enough there. I assume he knew he got it. Come on, refs, be nice to him. 2-1.
2-1. He's
Justin.
on the board by the skin of his teeth there.
Wow. And now same type beat on platform 3. Preston Smith, 501 pounds. He's retaken this, or this is 3rd time taking this weight in order to get on the board. Aina win on platform 1. 264 pounds from Boston Latin. 2 white lights.
Let's see it from Preston. I mean, these lifters have worked so hard to get here. You never want to see someone bomb out. And that's why whenever someone is about to bomb out, the crowd really gets behind them, whether that's their team or even just strangers in the crowd. They're really going to get behind Preston here to make this lift.
Alrighty, he takes the walkout now. Here's Preston Smith, 501 pounds.
Stands up with it. We got to wait to see what the judges say.
Come on, let it be there. 3 white lights. Beautiful lift there for Preston
Avoids
Smith.
disaster. Takes a big sigh of relief, I imagine.
Now can Noel do the same thing? 225, missed that. Went up 232.5, missed that as well, so a 7-kilo jump. He's going to retake that, so we're going to see if 512 pounds is going to move. We'll see if that dog will hunt.
Yeah, taking a little bit of inspiration there from Preston, who avoided disaster just before him. Hopefully he can do the same.
Jocelyn James coming up to bat on platform 1. Now here's Noel. Oh, I wonder. Come on, refs. That's a good lift.
Woo!
All right, so far we're safe. I believe everybody in these flights have made their attempts, or at least made one attempt. Nice. All right, awesome. So no bomb outs yet on this flight. Now, granted, folks, I'm not that we're saying we want this to happen, but anything can happen.
Anything
There's
can
a
happen.
ton of lifting still left over. We've got 7 more lifts left, not to mention these third attempt squats. 6 more lifts with the third attempt squats.
Ethan David missed his opener, jumped up anyways, 7.5 kilos. Now taking a 12.5 kilo jump. And it's a little dicey taking a smaller jump to your second and then a larger jump to your third. He could be trying to make up ground from that missed opener. Maybe didn't jump to his planned second attempt. Trying to cross over the 500-pound barrier.
All right, Avon. That was good. Now, from our angle, and we don't have the best angle, so keep that with a grain of salt, but I wonder if that was low enough. That was a no lift, unfortunately. And we are on third attempt squats for all 3 platforms now. After this, we have one more flight of lifters before we take a 10-minute break and move on to the bench press.
On platform 1, Tara avoided disaster by retaking her opener, now jumping 7.5 kilos, leads the way on forecasted total, and a lot of her competitors have missed their third attempt. Is she going to break that trend? Locks it out. Gotta wait to see what the judges say.
That's clean enough. There
3
it is.
white lights, and Tara leading the way on forecasted total, breaking the trend in that class where everyone else missed their third attempt. That is crucial for her to make that third, add those kilos to the tank. Now John on platform 3.
Ooh, very good grind.
Great call from his handler there. 235 kilos. Looked like the perfect attempt. I don't know, 2.5 kilos extra could have been there, but I think that was the perfect call.
Exactly. At that point, you've already done 3 squats, and it's important to remember squat is the first lift of the meet. Like we said, there's 6 more lifts to go. 6 more maximal attempt lifts to go. So when we're talking about the bench and the deadlift later on, you're going to want to probably save that extra 2.5 kilos because it's going to be easier to make up in the deadlift.
Yes, I mean, if you're having an all-out grinder on the squat, that's great, but you could be wasting a little bit of energy there, especially if you have to grind out a squat and you end up missing it. Then you don't get those extra kilos on the board. You fatigue your back going into deadlifts, going into bench. On platform 3 with the grinder, Colton, 237.5. 3 white lights, a good lift. He goes 3 for 3, heading into the bench press. And now McKinsley on platform 1. This is a huge squat.
172.5 pounds.
This is a
15
huge
kilos.
squat. McKinsley is weighing in. She is a guest lifter, not competing for placing. Weighing in at 55 kilos. This is huge. 380 pounds. Is she going to stand up with it?
Wow.
She does. What a lift. See what the judges say? 3
white
white
lights.
Wow. Phenomenal squatting there from McKenzie.
TJ able to find his way out of the bottom with 240 kilos. Oh, folks, we finished up our first flight over on platform 1. Now we're moving on to Savannah Bloxham. This is our second flight of lifters. She's going to open with 80 kilos, 176 pounds. All right, here's Savannah walking under. Like I said, this is 176 pounds. We've still got third attempts on platforms 2 and 3. Oh, and both lifters unfortunately missed that third attempt seemingly at the same time. And that's going to be a no lift. Oh, Savannah. So we're going to see a couple different approaches with the squat. There's some folks that like to have a little bit more controlled descent. They like to have all of the handle on their technique that they can, and that's going to give them the confidence to fight out of the hole. But then you're also going to see lifters that are going to rely more on that stretch reflex. They're going to rely a little bit more on that bounce in order to satisfy that depth.
And we have a bit of an interesting situation here. Caden Knox on platform 3, 270 kilos, just under 600 pounds. And if you're paying attention on LiftingCast, looking at that forecasted total, Caden's projected first. Now, there are lifters in Flight B who are going to lift after him, and Caden's got a bit of a tough situation at his hands. He's in the first flight, not going to be in the flight with those other lifters. Going to have to put up the most he can, and this squat is pivotal for him. Is he going to push through?
Can he find it? No,
oh
he's
my gosh, he found that second gear, but unfortunately wasn't able to break through that third gear. But he ends the day with 260 kilos, still forecasted in first. But that is with him doing all of his squats. We've got a ton of lifters who have not done any squats yet. And Caden's going to kind of be in that mix for potentially top 5. He could even walk away with the national championship, but he's in a tough situation where he's going to have to lift first compared to his competitors. He's going to have to put up his total first. He is not going to have that advantage of being in the battle with them, being able to jockey around for position on those deadlifts. But I'm excited to see what he does on bench and deadlift.
That's right, and he's going to be our last squatter for that flight. So now we're on flight 2 on platform 3. Eric Malmberg, 435 pounds. The spotters have to grab that bar off of Andrew Baker. Unfortunately, that's going to be a no lift.
And now on platform 1, we are moving into the 60 kilo division. This is going to be our raw division in the 60 kilos.
Bar is loaded for Alex Sanders, 210 kilos, 462 pounds. Josiah Slate is slated for 473 pounds. Here he is. Oh, looks deep enough, but I think he might have gotten just a little bit too deep. Lost a little bit of tension. Spotters and loaders had to grab them. And let's give some recognition to our spotters and loaders. They have been working tirelessly every single day, every single session. Imagine doing SBD day like 100 times in a day for 4 days straight.
That's what it feels like.
That's literally what it feels like. And the spotters and loaders just making it look so easy, so efficient. They've done a phenomenal job all weekend. That's a good lift on platform 2 for Ozan Kleiman. Over on platform 1, Miss Teresa Olive is going to go 253 pounds. We've got Mr. Adrian coming up on platform 3, 485 pounds.
Vincent on platform 2, looking to hit 225 kilos on his third attempt, just under 500 pounds. Buried it, but unfortunately might have buried it too much. He gets out of the hole really fast, but then hits that sticking point. Walks away 2 for 3 in the squats. Not too bad. Now on platform 1, we are going to have Charlotte with 117.5 kilos. Bit sticky for an opener, but it wasn't too hard. It wasn't bad. Now on platform 3, Terrence trying to hit 225 kilos on his opening attempt. Just under 500 pounds. Moves well. I'm gonna wait to see what the judges say on that.
All
I'm
right,
a
here
certified hater. 3 white lights. And Terrence is one of our lifters, going to be in contention in the 90 kilo class. We've got yet another battle. We've had battles all weekend across all classes, and there's yet another one in the 90 kilo class, as well as a little bit in the 60 kilo class, as Kate just hit 117.5. Caitlin on platform 1, going to come out to 120, and these lifters are all, at least Caitlin and Kate, kind of around the same ballpark. Going to be fighting for top position there, potentially a podium spot. And if Kiera, who currently leads the way, if she drops the ball, then we could see one of them end up the national champion.
Platform 2, that was a good lift for Ava Meyer at 142.5. Now here's Caitlin, like you said, with 120 kilos. And she's currently slated within the top 5. But in order to remain in the top 5, you've got to hit as many of your lifts as possible, because the moment there is a slip up, that door opens. And it's anybody's game at that point.
And here comes Kiera on platform 1. Currently forecasted first in the 60 kilo class, but not too far behind is Charlotte, Kate, Caitlin. And Kiera weighing in at 56.3. Now, I believe that Kiera might have elected to compete in the 60 kilo division because she might have known that she was not as strong as the lifter who won the 56 kilo division. So Kiera is a special talent where she's competitive in both 56 and 60, could easily move up a weight class as she weighs in only 0.3 kilos over the weight class below, and still be competitive, still be in contention for that national title. And she had an easy opener there with 130 kilos.
And we're on to second attempts already over on platform 1. 192 kilos, 192 pounds, 87.5 kilos, pardon my French. Here's Daniel Harness. It's 363, moved light and easy, 3 white lights. Ooh, up on platform 3, we've got Mr. Logan Allaire, coached by Team Hogan, the mastermind Eric Hogan.
And on platform 1, bit of a fight with 87.5 kilos. And Savannah gets it, 3 white lights.
Here's Logan Allaire. This is going to be a 518-pound opener, and he's a 90-kilo lifter. This is going to be close to double body weight for an opener. Beautiful technique there. I wonder if it'll be deep enough. I think it will be. Eric Hogan only preaches the comp standard. That's going to be a good opener for him. 3 white lights. Over on platform 1, Lydia Shawls from the Wowsaki Rangers missed that second attempt at 102.5, so I imagine she'll retake that. Cesar Francisco. Name's so nice, you got to say it twice. 369 pounds from Lexington Powerlifting.
And on platform 3, Humberto coming out to 237.5 kilos. That is 523 pounds. He is one of our lifters who kind of in the fight for top 5, top 3. Only 15 kilos off of forecasted from the top spot. Oh, unfortunately, I actually missed that because I was looking at LiftingCast. I think he might have failed it on strength. He might have just had a misgroove there. Obviously, I think he's going to repeat that and try to come back, hit it on his second, try to really stay in the fight in that 90-kilo battle.
We're finishing up openers on platforms 2 and 3. Ivan Lopez Castro is going to go 167.5 kilos. That's 374 pounds. Braden Hall, here's 240 kilos, well into the 500s. You know what I just realized? I
What?
haven't had a lick of caffeine today.
Big props.
I don't know if that's good or if I'm just too out of it to remember.
I think it's good. I think it's good. We've been here for 11 hours now.
Coming up on 12, yeah. Nope, 11. Yep, time change.
Yeah, I
Golly. You forget, one state over Central Time, all it takes is an hour. Here's Luca Lewis on platform 1. Gonna take 115 kilos. Here's Carter Clough on platform 3 with a decently slow opening attempt there, but it was smooth regardless, and he puts, oh. No, was that a good lift? No, that was not a good lift, unfortunately. So, I mean, it looked a little bit slow off the top. I wonder if, you know what, over under, I think he's gonna stay at that weight.
I think I would stay as well.
Serena Yan, 3 white lights for 115 kilos.
Sarah Vasquez on platform 2, taking 172.5 kilos, 380 pounds for her opening attempt. Let's see how she handles it.
Up to second attempts now on platform 3. Eric Malmberg sets us off with an easy second
And
attempt.
it's tough on platform 2, but she locks it out. I think she's got it. And she does. 3 white lights. She's on the board. And she's really in a bit of a battle there with Ava Meyer. So Sarah has got the advantage on Ava in the squat, but Ava has got the advantage on Sarah in the deadlift. And currently on forecasted total, they're only 2.5 kilos away. And with Sarah, that squat was difficult. It looked like a third attempt, if I'm being completely honest. But the thing is, with equipped lifting, sometimes a lifter can make an attempt look super hard, like Sarah just did, and they go up and it moves better. You don't really see that in raw lifting. It's very difficult to do that, but in equipped, since you do have the equipment helping you out, you can see that happen.
Looks like solid lifts on all 3 platforms. White lights across the board. Let's confirm with Declan. He's got it. Here's Mr. Adrian Rapier, 230 kilos.
And Charlotte on platform 1, coming out to 125 kilos. Charlotte really in the battle there for the top positioning with Kiera, Caitlin, and Kate in that 60-kilo battle.
Adrienne over here trying to tell me she's got taxes. Get out of here.
I still have not done my taxes, and they're due in 9 days. Procrastination.
Oh my gosh, they are due in 9 days.
Dude.
It's okay, I've already done my taxes.
My birthday's in 7 days.
Happy early.
Thank you, but why did they put tax day so close to my birthday? Why? Who did that?
What day are you competing next week? Day before?
Yeah, day before,
Dang.
Friday.
Oh, now you get to at least relax on birthday.
And I turned 21. Anyways.
And that's all we're going to say on this stream about that one, folks. Kira Segura, I wonder if there's any relation to I forget his first name, but I know there was a Segura on platform 2, flight A.
I mean, Segura going to take 135 kilos. This is a big squat for a lifter who weighs under 132 pounds. This is 297 pounds. Wow, she made it move well. Made it move very well.
Let's check out over on platform 3 now. Humberto Chavez, 237.5 kilos, missed to opener. Good choice, in my opinion, trying to stay at that weight in order to solidify your place in the flight. Here goes Humberto.
And Humberto, let's see it. And it's tough. I think he hit depth, and I think that's what made it a little more difficult.
Let's see here. And it's a
3
good
right
lift.
lefts, and he's in. And you know what? I actually remember on his first, I don't think it was depth call. I think it was just some sort of misgroup.
Okay.
And he ended up either failing it or kind of having a misstep. I don't exactly remember. I apologize. But yeah, Humberto going to be back in that fight in the 90 kilo class for podium position.
Platform 1's rolling on to third attempts already. 92.5 kilos for Savannah Bloxham. That is 203 pounds from the Nina powerlifting product. Absolutely buried it. Oh, but not able to find a way out of the hole. Good grab there by the spotters and loaders, keeping her safe and healthy to go on to bench press.
And Ava Meyer, platform 2, 152.5 kilos. And she's really in a battle here with Sarah in that 75 kilo equipped class. Wow. Oh, is she?
Oh, no.
I almost thought she was going to fight through that.
I thought she was too. She had me in the first half, not going to lie. I want to know who the coach is for Nina powerlifting. He's been rocking around with a U.S. national team coach jacket on.
Oh, nice.
Looks like Nina's got some good instruction. Lydia Shaw, unfortunately not going to make 102.5, but she will be on the board with 95 kilos. Nicole Silva's going to come right behind with 253 kilos. And hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an American record attempt on platform 3. A world record attempt, excuse me. Now, I imagine this is for the lads.
Okay, Nathan is 15. So that's going to be a teen
1.
Teen 1. So that's kind of why, if you're following along on lifting class, you see lifters who are going to take heavier squats after him. But the thing is, Nathan is 15, guys.
And this is 529
that
biggins.
Is simply amazing. And this is his second attempt, too. It's not his third attempt.
This is close to 3 times his body weight.
Wow. That is, I mean, just think of the future here. He's 15 years old.
The future is bright. The future is strong. And now what's going to happen here, folks, now that we have a world record attempt going, we've got to make sure we have Cat 2 level referees in the chairs. They are the only ones that are allowed to officiate on the platform during a world record attempt. Daniel Harness on 2, taking 172.5. Maria Marti taking 117.5. Again, hoping to add that to her total. Now here's Nathan Burdick.
Looked like he buried that squat. Oh, and Marta fighting through for 117.5.
Are you kidding me? If he went any deeper, he'd dig a hole. Nathan Burdick, 3 white lights. And that's a world record attempt. One very, very big notch in the belt for Nathan Burdick in the Teen 1 class, or the Teen 1 age division.
Sarah Vasquez currently forecasted ahead in that 75 kilo equipped battle. Right behind her is Ava. Now, Sarah taking just a 2.5 kilo jump. Now, if you remember her opener, it was quite difficult. So I like this call, just jumping 2.5, just trying to add a little bit more to your total at the end of the day. Not thinking that, hey, I hit that opener, it was quite hard. Let's go to the plan second anyways.
Exactly.
I like this call of just jumping 2.5. And she fights through it once again. Sarah Vasquez, 175 kilos.
Dare I
Knocking on
say
the
she
door.
might have another
Oh,
2.5.
unfortunately, that's a no lift.
I wonder if she jumped a command there.
She did get all yellow cards, so she might have jumped a command. I'm not exactly sure. We cannot hear the commands on the stream. So she could have jumped a command there, and that's unfortunate because she had the strength for it. I would probably repeat that, and I think with the equipment, she could probably get it again.
Absolutely. Here's Jaden Schroeder, platform 1. Not able to find. Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Okay. She had me in the first half. It looked like that bar started rolling down her back. Elbows got a little bit too hyperextended, and from that position, it's a lot harder to try and overcome in order to complete the lift. Cesar Francisco, name so nice, you gotta say it twice. 10 kilos to the increase, that's 3 white lights. Gavin Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, Gavin Johnson is wearing a Titus Strength and Fitness competition tee. That means he's out of my hometown, Charleston, South Carolina. Coached by Heather Foss, state chair of South Carolina. Here's Serena Yan, unfortunately not able to come up with 275 pounds. Hudson gets a good lift on platform 2. That's a 7.5 kilo jump to 180 kilos. Ivan Lopez Castro is going to take the same weight. That's 396 pounds. Logan Allaire on platform 3.
And on platform 1, Teresa Olive, stands up with 130 kilos. 2-to-1, good lift for Teresa. Now, Teresa is in that 60 kilo division, and she could be fighting for a top 5 position in the class. Now, Charlotte, again in that 60 kilo battle on platform 1, coming out to 130 kilos. Now, she missed her second attempt. I'm not quite sure what it was on, but she elected to go up anyways. Let's see how she handles it. Stands up with it. It was tough. See what the judges say.
Was it deep enough? No, it was not, unfortunately, folks.
And
she is on the board with the opener, but like you were saying,
Charlotte walks away with just her opener, like you said. And it's good that she's on the board. She's still going to register a total, given that she makes the bench and the deadlift. But she left a lot of kilos there she left a lot of kilos there by missing both her second and her third. And that is critical in the battle to make your attempts, get those kilos. And Caitlin missed again in that 60 kilo battle, missed her second attempt, opting to repeat. I like this call. Just gonna repeat the weight, try to play it safe. See if she can fight through. She does. We're gonna wait to see on the depth. That is a good lift for Caitlin. And Caitlin, having kind of avoided leaving so many kilos on the tank, honestly, I think she got all the kilos that she had on the day in the squat. Whereas Charlotte, leaving all those kilos on the table, that's really going to change things up in that 60 kilo battle. And that is why you cannot completely trust that forecasted total, because that forecasted is just based off openers at the beginning of the day. Some people, they only walk away with their opener, whereas if you're coaching a lifter, you're going to hope that they go 3 for 3.
Exactly. Here's Kate Linscomb going to take her third attempt, 130 kilos. Oh, and she finds her way up, acknowledges the commands, and that's a good lift. She's stoked about that one. She'll come away with 3 white lights.
Yeah,
Very happy, runs into Coach Eric Cordero's arms, coach of Boston Latin. Fun fact, the oldest high school in the country.
Wow. Ever?
Ever.
Wow.
I think it was founded in 1634, before they signed the Declaration. I'm going to fact check myself.
And on platform 1, Kiera leading the way in that 60-kilo battle. This would give her a forecasted total of 350 kilos, while Caitlin and Kate sit at 330, Charlotte just behind at 325. Kiera's really looking to solidify her lead, and she does. What did the judges say? 3 white lights. That's a good lift for Kiera, and that's a huge squat. 140 kilos.
Look at that guess. I was right. Boston Latin, 1635, instituted. Let's go. Anyway, back to the action. Oh, folks, we are actually going to pause the action over on platform 1 while we get set up for the bench press. We're going to take a 10-minute break. It's looking like it's 7 o'clock now, so it's definitely a little bit around dinner time. If you haven't yet, it's Saturday night. Go and grab you some pizza. Sit back, relax, and we'll see you in 10 minutes.
reps. We still got. Oh, are we on? We're on the bench already.
Yes, we are. Platform 1's cruising for some bruising. Elizabeth Duran is going to take 30 kilos, so 66 pounds. And she's one of our equipped lifters, so she will be wearing a bench shirt. And now it's actually funny and quite timely that you're here with me sitting talking about the bench press.
Oh, crazy how that happens. Crazy how that always seems to happen.
That's kind of your whole thing. So, you know, from a lifter's perspective, can you tell us a little bit about the bench press? What are the top, or I guess, what are the commands and what are the things you're trying to accomplish?
So with the bench, while it doesn't, for the majority of people, it doesn't make up the majority of their total, it's still, sorry, we were, you know, anyways. The thing is with bench is it has the most commands out of all three of the lifts. And it's the easiest to miss on because there's so much that has to go on, right? Because you've got to keep your feet flat on the ground, your butt has to touch the bench, you've got to pause it, you got to wait for the rack command. So with the bench, 3 commands. When the bar is motionless, referee is going to give you the start command, and then you're going to touch it to your chest, which is especially difficult with equipped lifting because you legitimately have to row the bar to your chest because that shirt is giving you so much adverse tension, kind of like you can see there with that opener. But once the bar is motionless on your chest, you're going to get the press command. And then once you lock it out, elbows are fully locked, everything is still, you know, your butt's still on the bench, feet are still on the ground. You're going to get that rack command, and then the spotters are going to pull it back. Now, Nick, what do you think is the most lift? I mean, we know statistically, but what do you think is the most missed command on bench? Honestly, it's actually a little bit more of a difficult question.
So we'll start with the most missed command, and then we'll go into probably one of the most common infractions that we're going to see with the bench press. So in my opinion, I want to say there might be a little bit of an easier time. A little bit of an easier time going. Sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. Michael had to go pass off to go take some more pictures. Bye, bud. Okay. So yes, one of the most commonly missed commands is going to be that, it's really kind of a tie between that start and that rack command. Most lifters are not really used to training with having to hold the bar for very long between that press. And that's going to be something we might see with some of our high school lifters, some of our younger lifters. Jordan Heinrich on platform 1, 93 kilos. Or sorry, 93 pounds. It's going to be 42 and a half kilos. She's our raw lifter. And folks, when we're talking about the bench press in the grand context of the rest of the meet, it doesn't necessarily provide as much to the total. It only provides about, we'll say about 20, 30% for some folks worth of that finishing total. However, it does provide very crucial kilos that are going to be added on to that total, and it's going to either save some room for deadlifts or it's going to increase that capacity for deadlifts. Bars loaded up for Carolyn Woodward, representing Elk Mound High School. All right, Carolyn Woodward gets that press command. Now, folks, we're going to see some different things with the bench press. This is probably one of the most individual lifts that we're going to see from start to finish. We're talking in terms of setup, completion, all the things. So one of the biggest things we're going to see is differences in grip width. So some people like to go for a little bit more of a closer grip if they tend to be a little bit more tricep dominant. Conversely, folks will opt to go for a super wide grip, not necessarily super wide grip, but a wider grip, so as to actually converse that. Close grip is if you're stronger off the chest. Wide grip is if you're stronger at lockout. If you do a wide grip, that's going to be a lot harder to come off the chest, whereas with close grip, you're going to find a fast jump off the chest, but it's going to find its own sticking point once it transitions from the muscle groups of the chest moving into the shoulders. Another thing we're going to see that's going to be different here is how the bar touches the chest. Now, as long as that bar is motionless on the chest, it doesn't matter how it gets there. So some folks try to go for a bit of a smaller, a bit of a slower approach there, wanting to not necessarily tempo it, but control it on the way down and ensure that all the technique is there and sound. And there's others who really utilize the momentum of the bar, utilize their stretch reflex, and we do what's called a sink, where when they press or when they bring that bar down to the chest, they sink it into their bellies while maintaining motion, or while with no motion on the chest, and then from there we press. And kind of similarly to a close grip bench, it's going to be very fast off the chest, with a sink especially, but a lot of that is due to the momentum, due to the stretch reflex. And so where we're going to find people miss is when they, like we said, transition from those primary groups to the triceps. Now on platform 1, Kiwi Bar, representing Boston High School, is going to go 110 pounds, 50 kilos in the 67.5 kilo class. How are you? How are you?
And that was a good lift there on platform 1.
Here's Aaliyah Rest Press coming up on platform 1, coached by Kyle Lehman. This is going to be 115 kilos. Now we see here she's going for a very wide grip, so we imagine it's going to be a little bit slower off the chest when it gets heavier, but here should be pretty easy. Strong lockout at the triceps. That's going to be a good lift. Now we've already gotten the competitor perspective, or like the athlete perspective from young Michael about what the bench press is going to look like. But for you, Adriana, since you're a national level referee, he actually posed me a question. I'm going to pose you the same question. What do you think is probably the most common command that's missed and the most common infraction overall with the bench press?
Ooh, it's a little tricky because it's not like the squat where depth is the obvious answer there. I think in the bench, the most missed command, probably the press command, just because some lifters might be used to doing touch and go in the gym, or just might not be used to these national level pauses where they're really going to wait until it's motionless on the chest. And so I think the press command is the most missed command. And for infraction in general, honestly not quite sure. Because there's a number of different things. There's blue card where you've got downward motion or soft elbows. That one's relatively common, soft elbows. And you've got the yellow card that is kind of a catch-all. I would say maybe the butt coming up, or commands lifting, or skipping the commands. And those both are going to fall under the yellow card.
And one of the easiest ways we can kind of mitigate against that is by training with those commands as early as we can. That way it's not so much of a shock when our lifters hop on the platform, especially once we get to these more important stages, like the national stage here in Baton Rouge,
Yeah,
and they're able to find their way through their attempts.
And that's why that was a bit of a hard opener there for Clara, but yep, she still gets it. She's on the board. And that's why I really love these national level meets, especially when it's at the high school level, where so many of these lifters, it might be their first national level meet. And it's just really great experience for these lifters, especially when they are so young. They're literally teenagers out here lifting on a national stage at the biggest high school nationals in USA powerlifting history. And it's just great experience because all of the referees that you're going to see on the platform are national level or international level referees, and that means they've got a ton of experience. They are qualified to judge these lifts. It's not going to be like the local level where perhaps the referees don't have as much experience. We try to keep the same standard across the board, even to the local level, but it's just inevitably going to be that these referees that are on the national stage are a bit more qualified to judge lifts, especially in the heat of the moment where they've judged thousands and thousands of lifts over the years.
Really? Yes. Or more. We have nothing to do. That's so funny. We just started ours on the second session. After me, it comes the top of the order.
All right, Mia Albritton on platform 1 is going to be our equipped varsity 67.5 kilo lifter. One of our equipped 67.5 kilo lifters, 143 pounds. Ezra Strassman on platform 3 has joined Preston Smith and starting off our bench press coverage for platform 3. All right, bars loaded for Ezra Strassman. This is a Nina powerlifting product. One of, dare I say, upwards of 50, 60 lifters. I mean, they have had a crew out here this weekend. I mean, they've had at least one person in every single flight.
Yeah.
Every single platform, it
and
seems
that's
like.
really great to see these big crews here, these big teams, because, I mean, especially among high school and collegiate powerlifting, the team aspect is just a heavy mark. I mean, you've got that sense of community, and that often means that these lifters are going to stay in the sport a little bit longer, whereas if they're trying to do this on their own, maybe their high school doesn't have a team, as many high schools do not. It's obviously quite rare for a high school to have a team, but whereas where they have that team spirit, and it just makes meets a lot more fun as well.
That's right. Well, folks, looks like we're really cruising over on platform 1. We're already on second attempts. 37.5 kilos for 82 pounds for Gabrielle Mills. Noel Curtin takes his first opener. Takes his first bench as his opener, I guess, 248 pounds. Cole Browder is going to come behind. Cole Browder, just in the nick of time, saved himself with a 220 kilo squat, missing his opener and his second attempt. Same with Noel, so both of these lads on the board. Bit of a redemption arc to find their way back into the contention for the top spots. All right, Gabrielle Mills, that's going to be a good lift. She finds herself on the board. Good on her for retaking that 37.5. We are there's cases where we're able to kind of get away with it with squat, as it's more of a whole body lift. I mean, technically all of them are whole body lifts, but when you get to the bench press, there's less of your body underneath the bar, providing that reactionary force. So essentially,
It's going to be
a lot harder to, one, press it off the chest, and two, be able to try and go up after a missed attempt. Anything more than 2.5 kilos. Here's Colton Christensen, 117.5 kilos from Elk Mound. We don't know, but 259. Carolyn Woodford's from Elk Mound. 2.5 kilo jump, very easy there. 3 white lights. And we've got Cameron Thayer starting us off for bench press on platform 2, 90 kilos, 198 pounds.
And on platform 3, John is going to come out to an opening attempt at 120 kilos. Went 3 for 3 in the squats, looking to continue that momentum onto the bench press. And Sienna, platform 1, 47.5 kilos for her second attempt.
Up next is Gavin Neville from CBA Colts Powerlifting. He's going to take 209 pounds. John Strouch.
Yeah, makes his opener look very, very easy. Gets 1 red card. It's a yellow card, a red light from the side referee. So With the yellow card, we are sort of guessing what that could be. So I imagine that referee could have thought that he possibly jumped a command, his butt lifted, his foot lifted. It could be a number of different things.
Yep.
But
And so when we see a red light on the screen, there's going to be a little bit of a little colorful box underneath it. You might be a little bit harder to see from your end, folks, but we can see it on our end. And as referees, we're familiar with the card system. But for those of you at home, just a quick brush through, I feel like it'd be a good idea.
So on the bench press, just to run really quickly through the color cards. So a red card, more commonly seen in equipped, is going to be where a lifter is quote unquote hovering the bar. They don't quite bring the bar to their chest. So you cannot get that press command if you're not actually touching your chest, A blue card is going to be either up and down motion or soft lockout, and that's going to be in your elbows. And a yellow card, as we just mentioned, is going to be a number of different things. So your butt leaving the bench, your foot leaving contact, your feet not being flat on the floor, you skipping a command, you just simply not getting a lift is going to be a yellow card.
Did you mention butt coming up?
Yes,
Okay.
butt coming up. I think that one's one of the more common infractions, that and soft lockout on the elbows.
Good on platform 2. Here comes
Christoph Atkinson, 105 kilos, 231 pounds.
And on platform 1, Aina taking a 2.5 kilo minimum jump to 52.5, making the move easy.
And, not to place any certain expectations on, gender or sex, but objectively speaking, it is a little bit harder for women to kind of make those larger jumps on bench press, only because that's more relative to body weight than it is for gender or sex.
Yes, of course.
You could speak to that just a little bit better.
Yeah, sure. I am a woman who bench presses, and it is going to be you are going to see that 2.5 kilo minimum jump more often, just because like Nick said, the body weight is lower. So percentage relative to body weight is going to be higher in a 55 or 56 kilo woman versus a 100 kilo man. And the thing is too that the relative load is often going to be smaller for a woman versus a man's bench press. So if a woman takes 90 kilos, a man takes 160 kilos, that 5 kilo jump is going to be such a big difference in percentage. And that's where you can kind of see, even in the lighter weight classes on the men's side too, where they're taking loads that are just in absolute terms smaller. That's going to be where you can see lifters smoke an attempt, jump 5 or 2.5 kilos, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it could staple them.
The bar is ready for Aaliyah.
All right, bars loaded for Aaliyah on platform 1. 60 kilos, 132 pounds, coached by Kyle Lehman. Ozan is going to go 242.5 pounds. And Aiden David on platform 3 makes his opener at 286 kilos. Moves super easy.
On platform 1, Aliyah smoked her second attempt bench. Really excited to see where she goes on her third.
Up next is Jack Dolezal on platform 3. This is 292 pounds, folks, for an opener. We're getting dangerously close to the 300s, and we're not even done with the flight yet on first attempts.
Jocelyn on platform 1 getting set up with 60 kilos. That is, if you are in a commercial gym in America, that's going to be one plate on each side. I mean, you could.
That's fair. It really is only in America.
We might have UK listeners. We might have UK listeners. We might have lifters from other countries where they use kilos.
Welcome.
Hope you're enjoying USAPL High School Nationals.
Jocelyn James, that's a good lift on platform 1, very smooth. Now, we see in that case, she was able to get away with a 5 kilo opener, or a 5 kilo jump from first to second. And that kind of lends into the individuality of the lifter. There is no one-size-fits-all method, approach, technique, whatever. when it comes to powerlifting, it all comes down to the individual. Every human is different in their own way in terms of what their body will allow, their experience levels, their mindset, and all that plays a factor into how well they're able to execute on the platform and how many kilos they're able to get overall throughout their attempts. Clara Voigt, platform 1, 62.5 kilos, 137 pounds.
And Keith on platform 3 locks out 132.5, a bit tough for an opener. So whenever you see an opener that is a little bit tougher, that's not what you expect, right? You expect an opener to be super easy, something you can do on any day. And yes, while Keith did get that lift, it's a question of what kind of jumps does he take? Is he going to take a big jump, like 10 kilos or so, or is he going to take something a little more conservative, like 5?
Exactly, and not only that, but that also lends itself to the ability of the handler or whoever's working with you on game day to be able to, one, understand the lifter, and two, be able to talk to them in such a way that they believe in themselves and are able to manage the expectations so that they're not going in there expecting anything super heavy when all they need to do is just be honest with themselves and hit whatever is on the day.
Yes, exactly. You have got to adjust on the day as a lifter and as a handler. And Tara hitting 67.5, a bodyweight bench. Tara leading the way thus far on forecasted in the 67.5 equipped division, but Alea right on her tail, just 10 kilos behind.
I would have read it, but I would have read it out loud, but I want to get home by Tuesday.
Bars loaded for Preston on platform 3.
Let's go, Mia.
I believe I have heard take me out about 20 times today, I think, maybe.
We love it.
Peter Cosmopoulos on platform 1, 115 kilos, 253 pounds.
Preston taking down 110. Ooh, and it's a fight, and I don't think he's going to get it. And missing a lift on the second attempt, it's tough. It puts you in a really tough position because you never expect to miss a lift, let alone a second attempt. So
Right.
I think he's honestly going to repeat that. I mean, it looked like a strength issue.
Now, we've been wrong before where folks are kind of seeing these as individual attempts rather than building off of each other. And so they may see that second attempt and be like, okay, that didn't go. We're going to go on to what we had for our third. No. Because chances are it's probably not going to move. Chances are it's probably not going to move if it is a miss on strength. So super important to either keep that weight or take a very, 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 very small jump if it's absolutely necessary. If you are not in, I'm going to say the top 20 lifters, or you're not vying for any national records or anything like that, you are going to gain, or you're going to lose 2.5 kilos faster than you are going to gain 2.5 kilos. So there is almost no reason to go up if you miss. Now let's hope he doesn't, but we've been wrong before.
Come on, McKinsley.
And on platform 1, McKinsley, who had a crazy squat. Am I seeing that right? She jumped, whoa, McKinsley taking big jumps across the board. She made a big jump on her squats. Now in the bench, we saw her open up with 50 kilos, take a 37.5 kilo jump on bench. Wow, and she even took a 12.5 kilo jump to her third attempt. I'm really excited to see that given how she moved, 87.5. I mean, like Nick said, it all comes down to individuality. How do you like your jumps? How big, how small? And it really depends on the lifter. I mean, especially since McKinsley is an equipped lifter, she might just want to open up super light to get on the board, make sure that you're not going to risk bombing out. And TJ, speaking of risking bombing out, hopefully he gets this on his second attempt. And he does, 125 kilos, clearing another strength issue, and he is on the board. Elizabeth, platform 1, ultra close grip. Ends the day 3 for 3 in bench, 37.5. What a great way to end bench, leading into deadlifts. John on platform 3. being coached by, well, being handled by Kevin Swarano, but coached by Arian Messi, legendary coach in the game, as he takes down 127.5 and moves it with ease. I don't know where they're going to go from there. Likely a 5-kilo jump, but that was really easy. You could get burned by trying to get greedy and taking that 7.5-kilo jump. So I'm excited to see where he goes on his third attempt. And on platform 1, big grind there, and Gabrielle celebrates 47.5 kilos. Or excuse me, she got 42.5 kilos, moved on to the next lifter there. Now Scarlett walking out to 47.5 kilos on her third attempt. We are in the equipped division, 67.5. Now, I don't believe that she's got a bench shirt on. That is something that you can do. If you think that you could be more competitive in the equipped division, you might elect to compete in that division, but just compete raw, not elect to put on the bench shirt, kind of deal with all the technicalities that come with that.
303 pounds for Malachi.
And Malachi on platform 2, opening up with 137.5. That is 303 pounds for his opener. Let's see how he moves it. Moves it with ease. Moves how an opener should. Phenomenal bench press. I mean, imagine being in high school and you're opening up with 300 pounds. In contrast, Eric on platform 3, unfortunately, is going to miss his second attempt.
What'd y'all jump? 7 or 5?
And Sienna on platform 1, looking to end her day with a 50-kilo bench press. Cole on platform 3. Bit of a fight with 130 kilos. Took a big 12.5-kilo jump from his opening attempt. 3 white lights, it pays off now. I don't know how much left he has in the tank, okay? It was a bit hard, a bit sticky. It wasn't an all-out grinder. I think they could go anywhere from 2.5 to 5 kilos. And Caden is our lifter, actually, who excuse me, that wasn't Caden that went, that was Cole. Taj getting set up with 135 kilos on platform 3. Gavin on 2, 102.5 kilos. That is, if you're converting to pounds, that is the elusive 225-pound bench. How is he going to handle it? Has to put in a bit of work, but I think it should be good. 2-1, that is a good lift. He got a yellow card. Not really sure what that was. It could have been the butt lifting, foot lifting. Oh, unfortunately on platform 3, that's going to be a no lift for Taj. Having a bit of a rough session so far, only walking away with his opening squat. Hopefully he can come back and hit that 135 kilos on his third attempt bench.
Keith, platform 3. Green, 298 pounds.
Aina on platform 1 gets that quick press command, locks out 55 kilos. Is that going to go? Yes, that is a good lift. She walks away 3 for 3 in the bench. Great job there. And on platform 2, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on Alex, but we have not had a missed attempt yet. Platform 2 is executing here in the bench press, which is such a technical lift. See if Alex continues that trend here. Did I put the commentator's curse on him? I might have. Alex, unfortunately, took a 7.5 kilo jump. Seems relatively reasonable at that weight. I'm not sure how his opener moved, but he unfortunately misses that. Is going to have to either come back on his third, try to hit that, or just decide to scratch his attempt, not come out and take it. Just move on. Don't waste energy if you don't think you're going to have it on the day. And on platform 3, Aiden David jumps 10 kilos, relatively a big jump for the bench, to 140 kilos. I don't know if he's coming out. Okay, he is. Just taking a little bit of time there. Clara on platform 2. Now she hit 60 kilos, jumped 2.5. That's the minimum amount you can jump. Missed 62.5 kilos on her second, looking to retake that on her third and hit. Hopefully she can. Let's see it. Can Clara have that redemption? Putting in a fight. Oh, and it's not going to go. Oh, good catch from the spotters there. Now on platform 3, Caden Knox. He's our lifter who's in contention for a top spot in the 90 kilo class, but is going to have to lift first ahead of those in flight B.
Ooh, big off the chest there for Caden Knox.
And that's worrying.
Lift is good for Caden on platform 3. Here comes, is it Ozen?
And that is big there for Caden. Big in a bad way because he did miss his third attempt squat, leaving those 10 kilos on the table. And now for his bench, I don't know if it was a misgroove there or if he potentially opened too heavy, but Caden really at a disadvantage by having to lift first ahead of his fellow contenders in the 90 kilo class. Oh, and Caden actually has, I just saw in LiftingCast, he elected to scratch his third attempt, and honestly, I like that call. It didn't really look like...
It's a very good call.
Yeah, I mean, 145, if you just know it's not going to be there on the day, you just know in your heart, no matter how much you lock in, it's not going to happen. Why go out and waste the energy, potentially fry your back by hitting that arch too?
What a grind by Preston Smith. He makes 110 kilos. That's going to be a good lift. What redemption from that second attempt there. All right, coming up to platform 1 now. Third attempt bench, 65 kilos for Jocelyn James. And Vincent Cardoza on platform 2 is going to take his second attempt at 117.5 kilos, 259 pounds. Now Jocelyn, unfortunately not able to come off the chest with that one, so the spotters and loaders grab it. Currently she is 3 for 6 thus far. And here's Vincent Cardoza, platform 2. Able to finish that. Ezra Strassman not able to get it off the chest. Once again, that's going to be a no lift, but he will come away also 3 for 6. Able with the opener of 110 kilos.
Tara on platform 1 getting set up with 72.5 kilos. Currently leads the way in the 67.5 kilo equipped class. Gonna be trying to keep that lead, and it's a fight for her third attempt. Can she lock it out?
I believe she can.
What a grind
Wow.
from Tara Wesno.
This is insane.
Wenzel, excuse me.
That's going to be a good lift.
Wow.
You want to talk about grit, determination, and patience. Look no further than Tara Wenzel, ladies and gentlemen. It came off decently, off the chest, decent speed, but man, that was a hard sticking point she had to overcome.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you see there from Equipped. It's a little bit faster off the chest, and then you really have to put in the work to fight through that sticking point that hits as that bench shirt loses its bit of reflex that you get off the chest.
All right, here's Noel Curtin, 120 kilos, 275 pounds. 264, excuse me.
And Mia on platform 1, 77.5 kilos. Another one of the contenders in the 67.5 kilo class. As of right now, Tara seems to be ahead to take that top spot, but Mia in a bit of a battle for second and third with Aaliyah. Oh, can she add these
Ooh.
extra 5 kilos? Another
Come
fight on
on.
platform 1. Have to wait to see what the judges say on that.
That's a good lift, ladies and gents. Mia Albritton.
And that's really going to help her there because while Aaliyah missed her third attempt bench, Mia hit. And actually the opposite happened in squats. Mia hit her third attempt squat while Mia missed her third attempt squat while Aaliyah hit. So they're kind of balanced out in terms of kilos left on the table.
Right.
It's all going to come down to deads. Eric trying to grind out 130. It's just not going to go today.
Now McKinsley Thomason. This is an American record attempt
Whoa.
of 100 kilos, 220 pounds in the equipped.
And Nick, do you want to take a look at the jumps she made there?
Yo, whoa. 37 and a half to 12 and a half?
Let's see it.
I'm
Let's see how
so
she handles
intrigued.
an extra 12 and a half. Wow, 100 kilos from McKinsley Thomason, excuse me. That is insane. An American record there that she walks away with.
After
Phenomenal
a
job.
37 and a half kilo jump. That shouldn't be allowed at all.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Oh my
and
goodness.
Speaking of phenomenal lifting on platform 3, John walks away 6 for 6 thus far on the day, having a great day, walking away with 132.5 on his third bench.
And we are up to the top of our second flight of benchers for platform 1, 42 and a half kilos, 93 pounds for Serena Yan.
And on platform 2, Jonathan Seltzer going to be taking 142.5. That is about 314 pounds.
After Lydia comes Savannah.
And on Cole, on platform 3, unfortunately, that's going to be no lift for Cole.
Now Taj Grawal, he's trying to get on the board with a little bit of a higher weight than just his opener. He's got 130 down, but he missed 135 on the second attempt, but he's going to go for it again for his last chance to add some weight to the total. Jonathan Seltzer on 2.
298 pounds. Next is Colton.
Taking 142 and a half.
Jonathan. Platform 2, the lift is
And on platform 2, the lift is good for Jonathan. Walking away 2 for 2 so far on the bench. Going to be wanting to go 3 for 3.
platform 1. The lift is good for Lydia.
Malachi Walker, platform 2 in the 90 kilo division. Going to be looking to take 145 kilos, taking a 7.5 kilo jump.
119 pounds for Malachi.
Oh, not a good lift there for Colton Christensen.
Platform 3.
Ooh, look at the setup here for Savannah Bloxham on platform 1. Almost did a back handspring to get on the bench. But look at that super high arch point, very wide grip. She's trying to minimize as much range of motion as possible. Now, there's going to come a point of diminishing returns where we have too short of a range of motion to where we don't get anything out of the suit. Clearly not the case here with Savannah Bloxham.
Yeah, and she is competing in the Raw division. But still, you're going to be hoping for that high arch. I mean, as some lifters are, to try to minimize that range of motion. And even with Savannah there, even with setting up with that high arch, she still had a bit of range of motion because her arms just seemed like relatively long in comparison to her proportions. And she still had a long way to go down. So kudos to her. I don't know.
Bars ready on 3 for team.
TJ on platform 3.
Y'all know she's a 123. The girl.
Do what?
The girl that just benched 220.
Yeah.
She's shooting 123.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, insane.
Teresa on platform 1, opening up with 55 kilos, 120 pounds. Makes it work, makes it look easy. Oh, big fight on platform
Ooh,
3.
TJ, there it is.
What a recovery if he can get this. 3 white lights. What a recovery for TJ. Missing his opener, going up 5 kilos anyways, and then jumping 12.5 kilos to his 3rd attempt and getting it. What a way to come back from that missed opener.
Mans is built different. Ooh, Gavin Neville, unfortunately not able to come locked out with that 107.5 kilo finisher, but he'll still come away with 2 attempts. Ashton Post is going to come right behind with 112.5 kilos, so 248 pounds.
Nicole making 55 kilos move easy for her opening attempt.
All right, Ashton Post, here he comes, 112.5 kilos, like we said, 248 pounds.
Oh, has to put in a fight for it. Can he fight
It's not going to
through?
go.
It's not going to go. He still walks away with 107.5 kilos. And I guess when you jump 5 kilos like that on the bench press, it's not, and miss it, it's not the end of the world, because you're potentially thinking, hey, if I only jumped 2.5, I could have got it. But if you're not necessarily in a super big battle, then you're only leaving 2.5 kilos off of your total. It's not the end of the day there.
That's right. Caitlin Dorman on platform 1, 132 kilos. So, folks, if you see this lady in the gym and she's benching a red or benching a blue or a plate, she doesn't need a spotter. Don't go up to her and ask. She's got it, I promise. Caitlin Dorman. And she is one of our raw lifters.
Yep, and Caitlin actually really right in the middle of the battle of that 60 kilo division. Forecasted total right now, 330. Forecasted in second right now. Gonna see how the rest of the day shakes up.
Marvelous. Very easy off the chest there.
Yeah, look fantastic.
All right, bars loaded on 3 for Ozan Kleiman. $117.5 kilos. We're talking 259 pounds. Aiden David on platform 3. That is going to be a good, oh, I'm sorry. Am I just saying a random name?
Not quite sure.
Okay, well, on platform 1, Luca Lewis. That's going to be a good lift for her, followed by Jaden Schroeder, 143 pounds. So, folks, if you see her in the gym benching a plate and maybe a 10 or a 5 on each side, I guarantee you she does not need your help. Chances are she can bench more than you, too.
And on platform 3, Luke gonna get set up with his opener at 117.5 kilos. Luke, in that 90 kilo division, kind of in contention for a top 10 spot. Makes his opener move like an opener should.
Here's Justin Segura. This is going to be 264 pounds. And he's going to wrap up a pretty clean bench run if he completes this. We had a bit of a shaky start on squat. This would be some good redemption for him. Oh, beautiful. It's
Big
there, it's
grind
there,
on
it's there,
platform
it's
2.
there. Come on, finish,
Oh
finish,
my
finish,
gosh.
finish.
I thought he
There we
lost
go.
that at 3 different points. See what the judges say.
2 to 1, no lift. Oh my
Jury.
goodness.
I would go to the
Go
jury.
to the jury right
Run
now.
to the jury.
I don't know that I saw any sort of up and down motion. It stopped for sure. It stopped about 3 or 4 times.
It was very tight. From my perspective, I thought there might have been the slightest bit of up and down motion, but it's so tight, I would go to the jury. That's one of those lifts where, I mean, if your lifter misses an attempt and it's very obvious that there was a clear mishap, like up and down, maybe it's not worth going to the jury. But if
Right.
it's like that and it's so tight, as a handler, you are your lifter's advocate for the day. I would go to the jury if I were them.
The Little Hulk, Christoph Atkinson, being coached by Big Jim Russell out of Casper, Wyoming, population 11.
Bars loaded up on platform 3. I think we're on to our next, we've been on to our next flight at this point. Here's Matthew Dapper, 122.5, 270 pounds, representing the CBA Colts, Iron Colts powerlifting team. Very nice. As written, as an opener should be. 3 wide lights. Here's Charlotte Springer on 1. That's going to be a good lift for her. And then we'll take over to platform 2, Vincent Cardoza, 122.5 kilos. That's 270 bucks. And here's Kiera Segura coming up on platform 1. It is Justin Segura, so I wonder if they are related. It is wholly possible.
Could be, and that'd be a nice powerlifting family there, obviously, with running the genetics. Now, Kiera currently slotted in first place in the 60-kilo division, but she's got to make her lifts. If she does not, she will not keep that lead. Gonna open the door for the others. And she starts off strong with a really fast opener at 70 kilos.
Whoa! Alex Sanders, 3-2-1 blast off, 275 kilos. Good night. I've never seen something move faster. Bars loaded for Logan Allaire on platform 1, or sorry, platform 3. Coached and handled by the legendary Eric Hogan of Team Hogan out of Maine. And Peter Cosmopoulos on platform 2, going up 5 kilos to 127.5 bucks. And here's Logan Allaire. Blast off, there it is.
Super easy, exactly how you want an opener to move.
Easy, breezy, beautiful Logan Allaire. That's gonna be a good lift. Hey, Mike.
Guys, how's Benjamin going?
It's been pretty interesting, not gonna lie. It's been pretty interesting. So we're into our second flight on all 3 platforms. Well, except for platform 2, they're running a smidge slow.
It's a big flight.
That's
They're in
right,
right now.
yeah. Overall, I'm seeing a decent amount more completed third attempts than we have seen in prior sessions.
Okay. What about
I don't know
platform
if-
1?
Let's look at
The
platform
cursed
1.
platform.
Platform 1, I want to say is
It's been
at the
pretty good.
moment kind of half and half.
pretty
Okay, okay.
Platform 2, I did enact the commentator's curse on somebody while Nick was gone. I said, wow, there has not been a missed attempt thus far. The very next lifter missed.
Cannot be saying that.
I am very
Absolutely
sorry.
sniped her.
Especially when lifters like Andrew are trying to cook, nay, bake. Perchance.
Mayhap Savannah may blossom into a new lifter with this second attempt bench, 55 kilos, 121 pounds.
That's closing in on the one-play bench.
And Josiah slated to go 137 and a half, 303 pounds. Delayed reaction on that one. All right, coming up to platform 3, we've got Humberto Chavez, 137 and a half kilograms or imperial units. That's 303 pounds in the freedom units, we like to say.
And Humberto didn't have the best squat day, but still walked away 2 for 3. So he ended up missing his opener. Had to repeat it, and it was a bit difficult. Only went up 2.5 and got that. So not that big of a spread from his opener to his third attempt, but he is able to get on the board, get those extra 2.5 kilos that he jumped.
And he's looking to get that redemption for that missed squat.
And unfortunately, kind of the same storyline here. I believe he might have missed his opener on squat on seemingly a strength issue, but
Yep.
he was able to come back, hit it on his second. hopefully he can do the same for bench. It's going to be really tough.
Bench is a little more difficult, and I will say, on platform 3, they're making you pause it. They're
Yeah.
making you
Oh,
pause
yeah,
it
they are.
big
Yes.
time.
And that's the thing with, we've said time and time again, these national level meets, the pauses are going to be strict. They're really going to wait until you're motionless on the chest.
Because these are national level referees, some category 2, which means they've got to referee in some of the highest stages in the world for powerlifting. So it's not to say they don't know what depth looks like. They 100% do. They've been doing it for decades.
Oh, and Nathan, another interesting opener.
He was able to complete that one, but it was way harder than you normally would see for an opening attempt.
Yep, he
That's a
gets
good
that
lift.
lift. And that really tells the story here because Nathan currently is forecasted in 5th place in that 90-kilo battle, but how much does he have left on that bench press? How much is he going to jump there from that opener that looked like a limit lift, honestly. I wouldn't be mad if he just went 2.5 kilos. Whereas Braden Hall, currently forecasted first. Let's see in comparison how he makes this opener move at 147.5 kilos.
All right, Braden, this is going to be an opener.
And it moves like an opener.
Oh my
straight.
gosh,
Moves like it
Hollaback.
should.
That bench was B-A-N-A-N-A-S. That was a stretch and a half. I'm so sorry, guys. So I guess I should walk next time to Malachi. He's going to take his second attempt, or last attempt at 330 pounds.
I'm still stuck on the bananas.
So we're not just going to gloss over that one.
Bit of an interesting vibe here, though, for this session 3. I mean, it's late. People have been here a long time.
We are coming up on hour 12. Some folks hour 13, 14.
Some folks, indeed.
All right, bars loaded for Caitlin Dorman, Terrence McCrae, and Malachi Walker. All right, so we saw
Terrence.
Malachi.
Getting that kind of long press command there. And
Yeah.
what about Malachi? Go ahead.
I was going to say, Malachi, he had to get the replace command there. I was unsure, probably because he didn't have his elbows completely locked, although I'm not sure how it looked any different from the prior attempts. It looks pretty similar.
Could be
Let's see
feet,
his.
maybe?
There we go. Okay, so he was able to show he's able to lock it out just a little bit more.
Ooh, kind of
Oh,
bobbled there.
man.
It's not going. And that replace, having to unrack a weight that is your max attempt, literally. Having to re-rack it and unrack it again 10 seconds later, that can really take a toll on your chest, on your mental.
If anybody's ever done a heavy hold in the gym on either squat or bench, you know exactly how that feels.
It's very, very taxing on the body.
That happened to me my last meet, actually. I have a problem with my feet being flat, and I held and then had to rack every single one of my bench attempts.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, are you not Sean? Nori? Ega?
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I only took
Nori's got
3
the
attempts.
worst
I made
luck.
all of them.
I mean, Nori made all 5.
I mean, but
That's crazy that that's a statistic. Nori was 5 for 5 on bench.
Adriana kind of outwitted us there. Speaking of which,
Ooh.
they're on second attempt bench, which means I need to go take some pictures. I will be back momentarily.
Luke, hopefully he can get this on his second attempt, and he does. And that's one of those situations where you miss your opener. It is dicey to take a jump anyways to your second attempt. Luke does, and it pays off. I mean, that moved pretty easy. If you know in your heart that you're going to get that attempt, that it's going to 100% be there. If you have the slightest of the doubt, I wouldn't go up personally.
No.
But if you know that it's going to be there, if it was just a weird sort of mishap on the opener, then hey, you can have that conversation with your lifter. Go ahead and take it.
Now here's Sarah Vasquez, our equipped lifter, with a bit of an interesting time off the chest there. That's going to be a no lift for up and downward motion.
No
Yep, I
lift
saw
on
it.
her opener. Now, if that were a raw bench, I would be very, very worried. But since that is an equipped bench, these equipped lifters, with their attempts, they can just be so variable. They have to be so locked in on that technique. That's why they are bringing it down super slow to their chest. And when it comes back up, all sorts of things can go wrong. So I think she can get that on her second attempt. But it's, of course, it's going to be difficult. But it's not like a raw lift where it's almost purely on strength. And there's no sort of equipment, at least extra equipment to help you out there.
All right, Avery Picard, platform 2, opening with 65 kilos, 143, also an equipped bencher. Smidge of a sticking point there, but we were able to lock out. That's going to be a good lift. Charlotte Springer, can she find her way off the chest? It's not looking good, folks. Spotter's going to have to grab it. That's going to be a 5-kilo jump for Charlotte. And like we were saying, folks, a little bit earlier, with the wider grip benches, we're going to have a harder time getting it off the chest once that weight starts to get heavy. But if you're able to get it off the chest, lockout is going to come fairly easy,
Yeah,
comparative to close grip, of course.
If you've got a stronger chest relative to your triceps, you may want to opt to go for widening your grip or getting close to that max grip. Because like you said, it's going to be a little bit slower off the chest. And if you can get past that sticking point, then you can lock it out. Oh, and unfortunately, Logan on 3 is not able to break through that sticking point. And that's on his second attempt. He jumped 7.5 kilos, and it was just a little too much. Hopefully he can come back and hit it on his third.
Now he is handled by the legendary Eric Hogan of Team Hogan. And that man's a wizard at game day calling. I mean, I've never met anybody who's more in tune with their lifters than Eric Hogan. And with such a big team that he has on multiple stages, I mean, he's done a great job. I'm sure that Logan is in great hands.
Now, Humberto, 137.5, missed this on his opener, seemingly on strength. Really hoping that he can get this on his second attempt.
Here we go.
Let's see it, come on.
No, my goodness, that's not going to move. I am worried for Humberto now. If it moved like that, I don't know if it's too out of the realm of possibility that he may be out of the game.
I mean, honestly, he has no option here. He is going to have to retake that on his third. I wouldn't scratch it. I mean, especially since Humberto is one of the ones kind of in contention there for a top 5, top 10 spot. He's
wow.
going to have to retake that and really potentially try to get a faster press command. It was a bit long, perhaps because he was bobbling on his chest a little bit.
He did bounce a little bit, I saw.
Yeah, and the press command as a result ended up being a bit longer than you would want. So if he can really get locked in on that arch, locked in on bringing the bar down and getting motionless as fast as possible, then potentially he can get that on his third, but it's going to be really tough for him.
I'm sure he's having a conversation in the back with his coach handler now. Oh, here he is.
Yeah, and this is a situation where the handler is so important to get in that lifter's mind, make them believe that they can come back from that adversity and hit it on his third attempt. As a handler, you are privy to having to make the game day strategy, but game day psychology
That's
is
a
another
completely different
factor.
story.
Yep, that's another factor that is super important part of handling. You don't want someone just calling your numbers, but you want someone who's going to be an advocate for you, who's going to hype you up when you need, who's going to give you a pep talk, and really set you up for success.
Speaking of getting set up for success, word on the street has it that Eric Hogan is going to take this third attempt to Utopia and back.
Marvelous. All right, Nicole Silva currently walking out to 60 kilos, 132 pounds. Dominic Cirilli on platform 2 gets up from his opening attempt. That's going to be a good lift. And Eric Malmberg, we are now on second attempt, 308 kilos. I believe we're on second flight for all 3 benches. However, looks like we're kind of off kilter a little bit. Platform 2, and then platform 3, and then platform 1 in that order. 1, 3, 2
right.
will be
There you
completed in that order. There we go.
Now, I haven't seen too many of them, especially not on platform 3, but say your second attempt on bench, right, absolutely moves, you know, opener speed, maybe even faster. What's the maximum jump that you're taking on bench, right? Because it's so easy to load the wrong number.
It
depends.
depends. Ladies and gentlemen, it depends. Now, in the context of the weight classes that we have here, let's take, for example, our 90 kilo boys.
Yep.
90 kilos, that's 110 or 198 pounds, so close to 200 pounds body weight, maybe a little bit less. And comparative, some of the weights on the bar aren't going to be as heavy as some of our lightweight ladies or men who, comparative to their body weight, the weight on the bar is going to be a lot higher. For me as a coach, if I have, actually I have a 90 kilo lifter competing in a couple weeks. If I were him and his second attempt absolutely blew up, I'd probably go towards the mid-range to the top range of what we had planned, provided that there was no major hiccups or anything. I mean, yes, it might have flown, but maybe it could have, I don't know, felt weird in his hands. Maybe he felt his shoulder slip. I don't know.
Maybe
one-
some of these,
one arm
these
locks
lifters
out,
are dealing
yeah.
with some injuries too, so that's why we might see some conservative attempts.
I've seen some really close grip benches, which sometimes you see someone maybe strains their pec before the meet or something like that. They'll take their token bench just, you know, not to bomb out.
Here's Terrence McRae, gonna open with, gonna take 150 kilos one more time. Oh no, another situation here similar to Humberto. Terrence McRae's literally got his back against the wall.
Hopefully he can come back and hit that on his third. And Braden Hall, in contrast to these lifters in the 90 kilo class who seem to be missing, Braden Hall has not missed a lift yet.
Well, there that goes.
Yep, and Braden Hall, that's the
Let's
thing.
hope not, but if he does miss it, I may or may not blame it on Adriana Davis. Y'all can DM her
he's
at
gonna give
Adriana
it
Davis
his
on
all,
Instagram.
though. We
You
know
know
that.
what? He did jump 10 kilos, so let's see here before I talk anymore.
Nice.
That
Never
was
mind.
strong. I like it. I like
had-
Look
it.
at that.
I had trust in him. He seems like he's got some platform maturity. He
Sure.
hasn't missed a lift yet. He's really an executionist, at least so far. And
Hail Caesar, that was a fast second attempt.
Oh, Francisco,
First attempt.
Francisco.
My fault.
Dang, I was gonna say name so nice in your hand. I was gonna do the whole thing. I was trying to do it. Ah! No, I'm kidding. Jaden Schroeder on platform 170 kilos.
Now we're seeing raw varsity. What exactly does that mean?
So all of our competitors in the high school national championships are separated into JV and varsity. Primarily, that's predicated upon qualifying total, so the JV is going to have a lesser qualifying total than the varsity, but also, if you are in 9th or 10th grade, more often than not, you're automatically lumped into the JV, unless you're an absolute genetic freak, and you can hang with the big boys in the varsity. But on the flip side of that, if you're on the if you're in 10th or 11th grade, you are then forced to be lumped into the varsity to compete with the rest of the pack.
Luke electing to attempt a 132.5 kilo bench on his third attempt. One of those lifters currently forecasted in 5th, going to be fighting for that position at the end of the day.
Boom. Come on. Dang it. That was on me.
I mean, unfortunately, he doesn't get that lift. He does walk away with his second attempt at 125.
Hey, yo, Adrian. Come on out to platform 3, 132.5 kilos. 292's loaded up for you.
Ready to do absolutely duo with 292.
Oh, it's going to be a rocky time, but let's see it. Adrian Rapier, 132.5. Ooh, a rapier is a sword. They use that in fencing. Ooh, okay.
Shout out my fencing guys, man.
Next level.
Shut up, fencing.
The beekeeper's sport.
Adrian Rapier absolutely pierces through that third attempt.
Someone play the Rocky 3 soundtrack right now.
Hey, he didn't hear no bell.
And on platform 1, Kate is going to get set up with 70 kilos. Kate, another one of those lifters in a battle. Kiera is forecasted a little bit ahead at 355, but Kate is in the battle for silver, 3rd place, or top 5, and she makes that move, 70 kilos.
We have Mr. LA lifting himself on platform 3. We know Andrew Graves is watching from home on his TV, actually. Shout out Mr. Graves, love that man. Let's see how Logan makes
You've
this
got a
move.
lot of Maine watching today. I've had a couple DMs myself. Here's Logan.
The main event. Come on, get that up.
Baby.
Come on,
Can
push
he
through
do it?
that. Push through
Oh my
that.
gosh,
oh.
and he locks it out.
Was that
That's
up and
got to
down,
be
though?
a gym PR.
We gotta
That's
see
got to
the
be a gym
jumps.
PR. That's a
Gotta see what they say.
huge up and down motion there.
Man. Could be overturned, though, maybe.
He could go
You
to
do have the
jury.
option to
You
go
do
to the
have
jury.
option of going to the jury.
Now that up and down motion is a little bit tough. That kind of was similar to what you'd see on a hitch for deadlift. Now, he's still in the game. Logan Allaire, he did get his first 4 attempts. He comes away with 385 subtotal and one of the highest deadlifts on platform 3 with 215 kilos.
Charlotte on platform 1 just took her 3rd attempt at 72.5. Unfortunately, did not get it. And Charlotte, in that battle for the 60 kilo class, walks away with just her bench opener, while some of her contenders go 3 for 3. And now all eyes on platform 3. Humberto.
Ladies and gentlemen, Humberto Chavez has been disqualified from the meet, unfortunately, so he has what we call in the biz bombed out. So he is not allowed to post any records or anything like that. He's not eligible for any standings. However, he is able to come back for deadlifts. That's a tough situation there. Emotions are really running high. These kids have worked for months and months and months for this meet prep, for this national championship, and it's got to be a heartbreaking feeling to have it all just slip away like that. But you're able to get redemption from the deadlift.
Yes, I mean, with powerlifting, it is such a long game sport where you are prepping for such a long time, focused on those numbers that you're wanting to hit for such a long time. And when it doesn't come to fruition, like you said, 3, 4, 5, even longer months later, then it can be just really tough on these lifters. Hoping he comes back out to deadlift.
All right, they had to help John on platform 2. Looks like we're in a similar situation here. I wonder if there's a theme. I wonder if maybe some of our benchers maybe opened a little too heavy.
Potentially. I mean,
It is very easy to open too heavy on bench.
yes, definitely. And
I've been
that's
there.
why if you go into squats, and same thing kind of happened on both platform 2 and platform 3, where our lifters who on platform 3 he wasn't able to register a total. On platform 2 he's gonna have to come back on his 3rd. Both of them didn't have the best days in the squat, and when that happens, as a handler, I would honestly recommend bumping down that bench opener, because that could be an indication that strength is just a little bit lower on that day. It's not going to match what you do in the gym. You don't want to have the mindset where if you have a bad day in the squat, you're kind of thinking, oh, let me just make up the ground on the bench and they'll be totally fine. You cannot think like that. You've got to think of each lift in its individuality. And if you know that strength is a little bit lower on that day, it's a really smart move to just go ahead, bump that bench opener down, get 3 benches, build some positive momentum in your lifter rather than risking that bomb out.
I mean, that's also huge, too, is the fact if you don't have a good squat, that you don't have that momentum.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you can't take that into bench.
You've got to pretty much, if you're a lifter and you're thinking of your mental state, you've got to pretty much erase what just happened in the squat if you only went 1 for 3, and you've got to move on and just move on. Don't think about the squat at all. Focus on bench. Move forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up our action of the bench on platform 1. We're going to take another 10-minute break while we get the rack taken off the platform. We will see you in about 10 short minutes. Don't go anywhere. At this point, it's a little bit late. Y'all need to be grabbing some midnight snacks. We'll see. Ladies and germs, welcome back to Platform 1. Clara Voigt's going to start us
I
off
think
with
the party
deadlifts.
just started. You know why, Nick?
I think the weight hit the floor, fam.
The weight hit the floor.
Attempt change in progress.
Ooh.
Can't change any numbers on the bench.
Well, that's just because they're trying to fix that mishap on the bench press.
Come on, Gino. Now here's Scarlett McCoy coming to Platform 102.5 kilos, 225 pounds.
That's a great number.
Isn't it?
That's
Her
a
name
great
matches the
deadlift.
plates.
See what she did there.
I don't.
Like Scarlet,
It's
like
all
red.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Anyways,
Me when I do not understand.
Me when the...
me all the time.
Great number coming up here on bench. Third attempt, though. Y'all know what that number is.
110.
Amen.
Are the 110 gods going to bless him to go 3 for 3 in the
Every
bench?
time someone loads 110 kilos, another jar of dill pickle lemonade pre is sold.
Let's see what happens.
Good work.
Oh, he's got that. That's
Oh.
got to be good.
It's got to be due to the 110 gods.
2 to 1.
2 to 1.
It's a good lift. And
That's
of
all you
course,
need.
due to
No
the
free
strength of
advertising.
Austin as well. Yeah, no free advertising, just a number that we like. My favorite number. All of these lifters are going to give 110%.
Oh, God.
She can't even finish the joke. I think we're starting to feel it a little bit, folks. We're coming up on 8:30. It is now, we're coming up on
Big fight
13 hours.
Platform 2. It's not going to go. The 110 gods are not there.
They said, no, only one per flight.
You can't, I mean,
You can only call upon them once.
exactly. It's a little too much to kind of ask.
Interesting looking first attempt there, but I think it's good.
Yep, I think it's good.
All right, Kiwi is coming up to the bar now. 231
Oh, my
pounds
goodness.
from Mawson High School. I mean, that was a toss-up there.
I mean, yeah.
Cesar Francisco, name so nice, you gotta say it twice. Hail him, 253 pounds. Gonna
Hail him.
retake 115 kilos.
Bit of a sticky lockout there on platform 1, but that's a good lift on the board.
Long hold there. Maybe elbows?
Oh, that's not gonna be that's gonna be a no lift, unfortunately, for Cesar Francisco.
A name so nice.
I'm obliged to have to say it twice. Here's Aina Win. Or Aina, I do want to pronounce your name right, I do apologize. 107.5 kilos, easy opening attempt. All right, let's hope Declan can foster a good deadlift with 264 pounds for this third attempt bench.
It looks like looks like deadlifts, AKA the party, about to start on platform 3. And that's calling my name.
We'll see you soon. All right, bars loader for Daniel, trying to harness the energy for 130 kilos, 286 pounds.
Stepping to the platform a little bit early. You gotta wait for the bar to be loaded before you step to the platform.
Well, so the bar may be loaded, but you gotta wait for the ref to say bar is loaded.
Yes, exactly.
Here's Carolyn Woodford. Elk Mound High School product, 253 pounds for an opening attempt. Daniel Harness. Here we go, strong on the chest with a close grip. Like we said, lockout's gonna be tough, but he finds his way. 286 down in flames, that's gonna be a good lift, 3 white lights.
And what a good call from the handler there. Jumping 7.5 kilos is a little bit dicey in the bench press, so to know exactly what your lifter is capable of, that's a great day.
That's right, and folks, that's gonna wrap up the bench press for the day on platform 2. We're gonna take a 10-minute break while they get set up for deadlifts. Don't go anywhere. All right, bars loaded on platform 1 for Jordan Heinrich.
And on platform 1, Jordan walking out to 132.5, just under 300 pounds, 292 pounds for her opening attempt.
And we come back to platform 3 right in time for Preston, or for TJ to drop 202.5 with some authority.
And we're pulling on 3. What we got left now is platform 2. And then we'll be pulling on all 3 platforms. We got a 10-minute timer on the clock on 2.
Preston really taking his time with his setup, knowing that you have that full minute to get started on the deadlifts, not trying to rush it. McKinsley with a super light opener at 140 kilos, and she's been taking super light openers all day and jumping a big amount. I mean, she walked away with an American record at 100 kilos in bench. In bench, not in squat, folks, in bench at a body weight of 55 kilos. Just phenomenal. Hoping to see some big jumps for her potentially on the deadlift to finish out the day.
Coming up next is Leah Respris on platform 1, 325 pounds, coached by Kyle Lehman.
And Aaliyah right in the mix for the battle for silver medal, third bronze medal, potentially even gold. Wow, and that moved
Oh
easy
my
for
goodness,
her.
Aaliyah, too easy. Belt flick of the ages. Very smooth. That's gonna be a good lift for Aaliyah. Coming to platform 4 now, John Strouch. Had a good run at 225 kilos, 496 pounds. That's a good lift. Jack Dolezal is going to come right behind with 496 pounds. Beautiful opener there for Jack Dolezal. Now that we're on the deadlift, let's go ahead and explain the rules of performance for those. They're super easy. You only get one command, down. You still have your allotted 1 minute to come out to the platform and complete your lift, but as long as you initiate the start of your lift
Within the minute that you are allotted, then you'll be good to go. And that can lead to some lifters having some elaborate setups, especially, you know, with these high school lifters, they like to have elaborate setups. And it sort of sets a ritual that these lifters are going to try to hit and be consistent on with every single attempt that they do. As Tara on platform 1 had a bit of a ritual herself, is currently leading the way, or excuse me, she's not leading the way, but she is in that battle for the top spot in the 67.5 kilo class.
Now here's Noel Curtin, opting to go for the sumo deadlift, and so there are going to be 2 primary deadlift stances that we're going to see on the platform today. We might see 1 or 2 hybrids, but first off, we're going to talk about the conventional deadlift. The conventional deadlift is signified by the hands being outside of the knees. The feet are generally fairly close together, and it's going to place a little bit more load on the lower back, the hamstrings, and it's going to be a longer range of motion. Generally, you're going to see it come faster off the floor, slower at lockout. Conversely, we have the sumo deadlift. Think of everything as the complete opposite for that. For sumo deadlift, feet are going to be inside, or feet are going to be outside the hands. Oftentimes, folks elect to go way, way outside. We see Eric Olave electing with a sumo stance here. It's going to place a little bit more load on the quads as well as the hips, and a super important focus on the upper back as well. Now, with the sumo, it's going to be a little bit slower off the floor because there's less of that initial momentum going into the bar like you'd see with a conventional deadlift wedge. But it is going to be super fast at lockout. So that is the trade-off there. Oftentimes when you're looking at lifters, it kind of depends on the lifter's psychology. Depends on the lifter's
I mean, it could.
anatomy.
If someone really hates sumo, it's going to play a role in their training if they're trying to switch over from conventional.
Exactly right.
And that kind of plays into what a lifter is comfortable with and what they can lift the most weight with, because that is the goal at the end of the day. And on platform 3, let's pay attention to Caden Knox, our lifter who is in the battle of the 90s,
Ooh.
but in that first flight. So he's going to have to finish his day first. Currently forecasted in second place, but again, he's going to have to finish his day first. So hopefully he goes 3 for 3, puts up the highest total he can at this point. 240 kilos for his opener.
Ooh, Sienna Greer, can we find our way to lockout? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, she's fading, she's fading. Come on, come on, come on. Oh
fight,
my
though, from
God!
her.
I don't
Dude,
know that
is
she's
she-
hitching it. She's just gonna keep going.
Is that going to count? Let's see.
You know what? It'll count for me. I don't care if it counts for the judges. 2 to 1. Oh my gosh. Oh man.
And
I
if
don't
we're-
think we could see
That was a crazy
better.
grind. That was like 20 plus seconds.
That was insane.
That was crazy. And Caden, if we're going back a lift or two, Caden unfortunately missed his first attempt. Now, what I was saying is that he needs to put up the highest total he can, and that was his opener, and he elected to retake it. He didn't miss it on strength. He missed it on a bit of a bobble at the top. He just lost his balance, skipped out on that down command because of it, and now his back's against the wall. He's trying to put up the highest total he can, but he is forced to, I mean, he could have gone up, but they have chosen to secure the total. He already only went 1 for 3 in the bench. Just try to secure the total first before you think about placing. And that's going to play on his total. That's going to play a factor in the placings at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and we're still only on our first attempts on deadlift, and there's still a ton bit more of the story left to be told. Taj Grawal, 245 kilos, 540 pounds.
And on platform 1, Gabrielle gets set up with 115 kilos for her second attempt. Slow at the floor, but she's able to lock it out. 3 white lights. Good lift for Gabrielle. And on platform 3, Ezra taking 247.5 kilos for his opening weight. How fast is this going to move? Oh no!
That's up and down motion. Oh, and he ended up missing it. Oh goodness. Now
It looks
Ezra
like strength.
Straussman, that puts him in a very, very unique position.
He is going to be forced to, I can't imagine him going up. I mean, that was clearly some sort of strength issue, or maybe he had some sort of technicality that caused him to lose it on strength, but I can't imagine him going up. He's going to repeat that back against the wall, gonna be trying to solidify a total there on his second attempt.
We got Carolyn Woodford on platform 1. Taking her second attempt at 120 kilos. However, Aiden David, 545 pounds.
Carolyn, slow and steady all the way through. 3 white lights for her second attempt.
Same with David on 3. A little bit slower for a third. I imagine they're going to see a small jump here. Now for deadlifts, since we're really just pulling off the floor, you can kind of get away with adding a little bit more to the deadlift.
And especially because it's typically the lift that's going to be the highest absolute load for these lifters. So if you're jumping 10 kilos on, or 15 kilos on deadlift versus 15 kilos on bench, that's a completely different story, just because the load in absolute terms is going to be higher in the deadlift, which means that 15 kilo jump, just for an example, is going to be a much lower percentage in the deadlift than it would be in the bench.
Now TJ comes up for his second attempt. I wonder if he's going to get called on soft knees there. Nope. I don't know what I was seeing. Don't mind me. 3 white lights. That's a good lift for TJ. Coming up next is Preston Smith. Now, Preston Smith has to hit this lift in order to stay in the running for any top placings. This is 222.5 kilos, 490 pounds for the product of Elk Mound High School powerlifting.
Now, I don't quite remember why he missed his opener, but I like this move. Just stay conservative.
This one was up and down motion.
Oh, up and down. Okay. Let's see if he can hit it. And Jocelyn hits her second attempt at 130 kilos. Oh, and it's a tough
I wonder if that one's
walkout.
going to be up and down as well.
I don't know. I think he's done it.
I think he did okay. Come on, judges. Be nice to him. Oh, he's on the board. 3 white lights saved by the bell at the last minute. Jordan Heinrich on platform 1, 137.5 kilos, 303 pounds.
That is a big deadlift for.
And she's going 303 pounds, weighing no less or no more than 130.
132. Same thing. Actually.
All right, bars loaded up for Mackenzie Thompson. If I'm not mistaken, she already has a American record under her belt.
Yep, in the bench press, she pressed 100 kilos, which is a phenomenal bench press.
My goodness.
She had been taking big jumps on day, elected to take a more common jump by jumping 10 kilos in the deadlift. And she is wearing a deadlift suit, but that 10 kilo jump could be because you don't get as much out of the deadlift suit as you do in the squat suit in the bench shirt. But that's a good lift for her. And she's going to hope to end the day off strong. She hasn't, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to put the curse, but she's going to want to go 9 for 9.
Here's Jack Dolezal, platform 3. Folks, if you're hopping on one of the other platforms, waiting for platform 2, we've got a minute and a half left before we can start our action.
And on platform 1, Tara, in the battle of the 67.5s, the forecasted total from 1 to 3, only separated by 5 kilos. Tara leads the way. Can she add 7.5 kilos to her total? Oh, I don't think that's gonna go.
Gosh. If you chalk up extra hard next time, that's moving.
Yeah, and that
I
puts,
guarantee it. Don't add anything. Retake the weight. Chalk up. Have the coach give you a nice big pep talk, and let's rip that deadlift off the floor next time, Tara.
Yep,
we
and
got this.
That puts Tara in a bit of a sticky situation, especially considering she's in a battle. Now, Aaliyah going to be looking to provisionally pull into first place over Tara. Here we go. Can she pull into first for the time being in another
Look
tough
at that.
second attempt?
Oh, she holds on that right arm.
I believe that's good. 3 white lights. And
Excellent.
Aaliyah in that 67.5 kilo equipped battle manages to pull into first over Tara.
But only provisionally so.
Only provisionally. And now, Mia, we have a phenomenal battle here.
I'll say Mia's going to answer right back.
Mia is now going to pull into first back over Aaliyah by pulling 160 kilos on platform 1.
All right, we've got Caden Knox coming up to 3, but here's Mia on 1.
Pulling back into first. Wow. And Caden, platform 3, this is our lifter in contention in the battle of the 90s. Missed his opener on a little bobble at the top, forced to retake it, and it's tough at the lockout. But I think he is able to get it there.
I don't know about his shoulders, though.
We're gonna wait.
2 to 1. Okay, so
2
maybe
to
not
1,
on the
and that's a
shoulders.
no lift.
Not
So
on the shoulders, but maybe they saw a little bit of ramping there.
potentially, yeah. And
I didn't see any hitching, but if I'm seeing a red with a blue light underneath, the only thing I can guess there is ramping. Or soft knees, but I guess soft knees would count under a red card, no?
yes, it would. And that puts Caden in a really tough situation because while Caden was projected within the top 5, now he's facing bomb out. And that just goes to show that forecasted, I mean, I believe he was forecasted first at the start of the meet. Forecasted is not going to tell the whole story. Now Caden's going to be forced to lift again, 240 kilos, and hopefully he can get that on his third attempt.
Here's Elizabeth Duran, 107.5 kilos. Coach Lorenzo Barnes in the background looking on very proudly. She gets it up, but will it be soft knees or will it be any sort of ramp? Let's see what we got. 2-1, we have a good lift on platform 1 for Elizabeth Duran. And ladies and gentlemen, she finishes her day 8 for 9. Now here's Sienna Greer looking to capitalize on a great redemption run. We missed that second attempt squat. We missed this second deadlift here. Let's see if we can battle back. Now Ezra Strasman on platform 2. Gonna retake 247. Can we find our way up?
Oh, and then
Oh goodness, that's not gonna move.
His back's against the wall. He missed his first 2 deadlifts, seemingly on strength. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to come back and hit it on his third, stay in the meet. And that just goes to show the importance of putting in an opener that you know 100% you are going to make, no matter what, no matter the circumstances. You didn't sleep, you cut 5 kilos, you got to get an opener on the board.
Exactly, exactly. And one of the kind of the general rules of thumb that we use for powerlifting, especially when we're choosing openers, you want to try and find something that you can easily, you know, triple.
On any
and
day.
do so on any day. You know, maybe you had some bad sleep, like you were saying. Maybe you didn't eat well.
Maybe you cut a lot.
Exactly.
Maybe you got food poisoning. That seems to be common
That
in
seems to be common
powerlifting.
today, yeah. Here's Erica Olave, 250 kilos, 12.5 kilo jump. That's fairly sizable. Oh, Clara Voigt, unfortunately, does not find her way up from that third attempt. Up next is Kiwi, really setting the bar. 115 kilos. Locked in.
Locked and loaded. Let's see her end the day, 3 for 3 in deadlifts.
We also got Cole Browder on 2. 17.5 kilo jump for the lad. This is 567. He's used to those jumps, I see.
I think
But
so.
that was a smidge
sticky.
slow.
A little sticky.
Like the slightest bit. I would have seen his move just a hair faster for a little bit more confident third, but hey, not too bad. Come on, Kiwi, finish the lockout. Oh, man. It was right at the hips there. That's a phenomenal effort, though, for Kiwi. She'll finish off. Where is she at in the placings, Miss Kiwi?
We're not sure yet because there's going to be lifters
Oh, true.
in the B flight.
Facts. Oh, I like Gabby's setup here. Hands behind the back. She said, I've got a little bit of finesse to it. Let's watch the setup. Oh, wow. I'm a fan. She finds lockout. 264, 3 white lights. 7 for 9 on the day for Gabrielle Mills. This pulled her into provisional 6th.
Wow, phenomenal.
Here's Gabrielle Mills representing Boston Latin, the oldest school in general in the country, coached by Massachusetts State Chair Eric Cordero.
And Aiden David taking 260 kilos on his second attempt. He's one of our lifters who could potentially get into a top 10, maybe even top 5 spot in the 90 kilo division, but there are going to be lifters in the B flight going after him. Can he lock out 260 kilos?
Looks like Aina did as well on platform 1. That's good. Good lift. She'll finish 3 for 3 on deads. Aiden, no.
He's upset with that. Hopefully he can come
He's about to
back.
get grabbed by that head referee for cursing on the platform. That is no good.
Okay, he's going to get a warning there.
Christoph Atkinson on platform 2. That's going to be a good opener at 202.5. Now here's Carolyn Woodford. Carolyn Woodford, 127.5 kilos, Elk Mound High School product. She's going to move from 5th to 4th. If this attempt moves, I'm going to have a conversation with those spotters. They got to stop gluing that weight to the floor. That is not right. That is not fair for our lifters.
It's not cool.
All right, Preston Smith missed his opener at 222. Got it on his second, added 5 kilos, so that's a fairly safe jump, I'd say. Andrew Baker, 3 white lights.
Jordan on platform 1 looking to pull 140 kilos, just a little too much.
Come on, Preston, stay in the game. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
The
What a
big
way to battle.
500-pound pull. Let's see if he's done it.
3 to 1, my man's is on the board. What a job there by Preston Smith. Now, TJ's gonna put in an attempt, 230 kilos. This is gonna move him into provisional 6th place for the men's 90 kilo weight class. And Jocelyn James on platform 1. She's currently in 4th place, and with this attempt, she's gonna stay that way for the ladies equipped 67.5 class.
Oh, big fight on
Ooh,
platform
come on,
1.
Jocelyn. Oh, I think she locked out the knees a little bit too early. Didn't really get the hips through. Started to pitch forward, and that's going to be a no lift for her. But, I mean, she really gave it all
Everything.
that she could. I mean, I don't think we could have asked her any more. All right, bars loaded on 1 for Scarlett McCoy.
Gavin picks up 215 kilos. That is a good lift.
And Noel Curtin slow off the floor. That's not going to budge, unfortunately. Still a good sport. Wave to the crowd for their support.
Scarlett trying to lock out. 142.5. She locks it out.
I wonder
after
if they're going to get her
crazy
for
grind.
ramping. They
Yes,
will.
They will
from both of the side
unfortunately.
judges.
She could go to the jury.
She could, although I will say that was kind of a little bit more noticeable on that end. Granted, you could always go to the jury. It wasn't 3 white lights or 3 red lights, so you can go for free.
And now Tara Wenzel back against the wall after missing her second attempt. Now, she was in 1st place after openers, but she missed her second, allowing Mia and Aaliyah to pull ahead of her. Now, she's trying to take back her 1st place position right here. Can she do it on platform 1?
Yes, she
lock
can.
out?
I'm with her, Tara
Oh.
Wenzel, Mauston High School. 2 white
2 to 1,
lights, ladies and gentlemen.
she
She takes back 1st place.
Takes back 1st place. Now, Aaliyah and Mia are going to have something to say about that. They're going to be pulling after her, and they're going to be trying to take that back, that 1st place. What a battle this is shaping up to be in the 67.5 equipped class.
Check out the action on platform 3. We've got Caden Knox looking to retake 240 kilos for the for the 3rd time.
And Caden, this is why you cannot always trust forecasted totals. Caden, currently forecasted in 2nd, was forecasted in 1st at the beginning of the competition, but we talked about him having to lift 1st. He is in the A flight, whereas his competitors are in the B flight, and all he could do is put up the highest total he can. And now his back is really against the wall. He's facing bomb outs versus the potential top 5 placing. Can he rally back and hit this? Let's see it.
Come on, Caden.
Really
Let's
trying
see
to
it,
get
bud.
focused. Come on, Caden.
Finish, finish. Oh, my goodness. That's one of the most heartbreaking things, folks. You have a whole great rest of your meet. And to come all the way to deadlifts and to unfortunately bomb out. That's such an unfortunate roll there. And Aaliyah Respress on platform 1, unfortunately, that deadlift didn't budge either.
And Aaliyah was in 3rd place, was trying to pull for 1st place over Tara. Missed that, unfortunately. Ends off in the bronze medal. Now, Mia on platform 1. She's going to try to pull into 1st place. And now this is the sticky situation where you cannot go down in weight. She does not need this much to pull into 1st place. She only needs, she only needs 2.5 more. Oh, and is she going to lock it out regardless?
It's not going to happen. Mia Albritton.
And Tara Wenzel is your national champion in the 67.5 kilo class. And that's a tough one because Mia, since Aaliyah had already taken 170, she could not drop down below that. But Mia only needed 162.5, 2.5 kilos more than her second attempt. So that's where it comes in as a handler to watch LiftingCast really closely, know what you need to hit for second. You don't want to be pulling more than you need to pull into the top spot.
That's right.
So Tara or Tara walks away as the national champion in the 67.5 kilo battle.
All right, bars loaded for Ezra Strassman. He's going to need some special oomph from the crowd for this one. This is last shot at 247.5 kilos. This is last shot at posting a total. Can he get it off the ground? Oh, man, folks, it's not going to go, unfortunately. That's going to be one more disqualification, another bomb out there. And Ezra Strassman, I believe he was projected to be in the top 10 for the men's 90 kilo class. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't remember,
Okay.
honestly.
Fair enough.
And now, John on platform 3, looking to go 9 for 9 when his competitors are bombing out, not hitting lifts. John looking to secure a 620 kilo total with his third attempt at 252.5. Can he pull it off?
Oh,
yes,
wow.
he can. What a phenomenal call from his handler there. 3 white lights, and what a day for John to hit all of your lifts, go 9 for 9 when your competitors are missing. That's really a great showing from him.
All right, Maria Marty on platform 1, starting off our last flight of the day. 120 kilos, goes down nice and easy. Here's Erica Olave on platform 3. Missed his last 2 bench presses, but has had some solid redemption with deadlifts thus far. Let's see it, Eric.
Oh, wow.
Oh, excellent. Excellent
Oh.
attempt there.
Yeah, locks out. What a pretty sumo deadlift. I mean, he really stayed patient. Oh.
Oh, that's a no lift. Oh, that is a good lift. Okay.
It's a good lift. We couldn't see the
Woo!
lights.
That made me nervous.
Yeah, that is a good lift for Eric. Way to stick with it. I mean, he really had to stay patient at the bottom there in order to stick with it, show that tenacity, and go 3 for 3 in the deadlifts. Now, Aiden David, having missed his second attempt. Aiden is another one of these lifters really in that battle for top 5, but going to have to finish his day first. This is big. This is 12.5 kilos that he could be leaving off of his total if he misses this. That is pivotal in the battle for top 5. Can he do it? Can he lock it out? And unfortunately,
lost it in the hands.
Not going to happen.
So
Aiden
right
ends off
now-
his day. Right now, he's in. Right now, after everyone in Flight B hits their opener, he's going to be in 10th place.
Okay.
That could potentially change. And that just goes to show how deep this 90 kilo class is. I mean, he was going to be in provisional 4th place. And then he dropped all the way to 10th from that missed deadlift. That's the importance of making your lifts.
Here's Cole Browder. Oh, unfortunately not able to make his way up with that one. That's going to be a no lift as well. And that was a 5 kilo jump, so I mean, that was decently sizable. I don't imagine that 2.5 would have moved much better than that, but hey.
Yeah, and it's that tough situation when you have a second attempt that is a little bit sticky, a little bit hard. 2.5 is the minimum jump, and you're likely not going to make that call on deadlifts unless it's an all-out grinder. And it's kind of that tough situation, that tough talk with your lifter where you're thinking, hey, are we going to go 2.5 or 5 kilos? And usually they're going to opt for 5 because 2.5 is just such a small percentage of the loads that these lifters are taking. And on platform 1, Kiera leading the way in the 60 kilo battle while weighing only 0.3 kilos over the lower weight class. Wow, and that opener moves so fast at 300 pounds. And that kind of throws a warning shot to our other competitors. Hey, I'm gonna be able to make my lifts. My opener is not super hard. I have room in the tank. I'm going to build on my total. You guys are fighting for second.
And there's a decent spread between first and second now. Forecasted
Yes.
total for Kiera is 355, depending on what she puts in for that second attempt. And Kate Linscomb, if she makes this attempt, will come away just under 20 kilos.
Yes, 337.5. And since Kate is going to be in that battle with lifters behind her, I mean, the spread between her and 5th place is just 10 kilos right now on forecasted. It's going to be tight. And with Kiera securing such an easy opener, that kind of, again, just throws that warning shot saying, don't come for my gold. You need to focus on defending your silver.
That's right. Here's Kate Linscomb, product of Boston Latin High School. There's Coach Eric Cordero. Oh, and it's Katie's birthday. Happy birthday,
Aw.
Katie. You gotta love Gino, the powerlifting pirate, man. Always puts on a show for the powerlifters. Tries to make everyone feel involved and tries to keep it lighthearted so that everyone can have a good time. All right, bars loaded for Nicole Silva on 1. Logan Allaire on platform 3. A smidge slow on that opener, but hey, it was clean all the way up. 217.5 kilos.
I thought you meant right now. I'm like,
All right, Matthew Dapra coming at platform 3, 220 kilos. And Ashton Post, no relation to Austin Post on platform 2, 227.5 kilos, 501 pounds.
And Charlotte, Charlotte on platform 1 in that 60 kilo battle only walked away with her opening bench, only walked away with her opening squat. Gonna try to turn things around in that deadlift. And that really kind of opened the door there for other competitors to potentially take her place. And she's really gonna be in the battle for a top 5 position.
Hi, Mike.
you know, Nick, am I
What's
the
up?
main mover of the convention deadlift? Because I'm back.
Primary mover would have been better, but hey, it's okay.
Primary mover.
We got to
my
use
bad.
the the physiological jargon in this house.
Next is
No,
gonna be
that
the
was a solid one.
tertiary mover.
That's okay. It's going to be a fairly easy walker in the park for Malachi on platform 2. 230 kilos, 507. Boom. Ooh, I love the hair. Some of the best hair that I've ever seen.
I will say, over this past week, I've seen some great hair.
One too many mullets, I feel like, but tons of great hair otherwise.
Kind of a lot of mullets. Oh, the Gino pick. That's fire.
Everyone, I feel like, has to, like, to say you're a true powerlifter, you got to get the Gino pick.
That's true.
Okay, here comes Ozai.
Bless you.
And on platform 1, Lydia locks out with 115 kilos.
What's kind of been the trend here for deadlifts?
So,
A couple ball mounts.
heavy openers.
Heavy
very,
openers,
very
that's
heavy
been
openers
trend.
that
I've
folks
seen that
haven't
as
been
well.
able to overcome. We saw that a little bit, especially with this first flight. But now now that we're on the second flight, we might see a little bit of a change in the trend here. Here's Eric Malmberg. Very nice. All right, Ozan just keeps on climbing. 230 kilos. That's a good lift for him.
Pass me my sunglasses. I need to get locked in.
Here you go, Adriana. Get yours on.
We really need a third pair.
We out here, yo. Let's get it.
All right.
Now, Humberto Chavez sets that deadlift down with authority. Now, unfortunately, one of our lads who opened with too heavy a bench and unfortunately bombed out of the meet. But good to see him come back for deadlifts. We were hoping he would do so. Got to finish strong.
And you know, it's almost, you almost get more free. Not that you should ever want to bomb out, but you do almost get a green light to load whatever you want on deadlifts.
That's
You're
right.
not gonna
Because you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, literally nothing to lose. Carter on platform 3 locks out 245 kilos, puts him at a 635 kilo total. And that's going to be first place right now, but Braden Hall hasn't taken his opener yet, and he's coming out to take 245 to solidify a 675 kilo total. That is a 40 kilo spread between the two. Let's see if Braden can do it. Yeah, and Braden all day has had some really phenomenal lifting just across the board. Nothing too hard, taking the appropriate attempts. Hasn't missed a lift. Really, I think shutting the door on the other competitors unless he really messes up. But really shutting the door to try to walk away as the national champion.
Bars loaded for Ayo Adrian Rapier. Looking to take a stab at 245 kilos,
See what you did there.
540 pounds. Oh, Vincent Cardoza not able to make a move off the floor. That's a good lift for Adrian and Teresa. Teresa is looking to get all of this deadlift, 303 pounds. Here it is.
That's great.
And that move, well, looked like a second
She
attempt.
did, in fact, get all of it.
She got all of it.
And
I mean-
Teresa, she is in the conversation for the battle to potentially get into the top 5 in the 60 kilo class.
All right, now here's Nathan Burdick. Now remember, folks, Nathan Burdick has already claimed a world record under his belt, if I'm not mistaken. Where's that an American record?
I think it was a world record.
Okay.
You know, I have heard that actually people will be getting paid for that at a certain level. I think at a certain
Oh, wow.
meet. And I hope so, because this man needs some new headphones, because one of them is hanging
They
on,
are
bruh.
hanging on by a thread.
Literally. Someone get this man some new headphones.
All right, now here's Luke Whitted on platform 3, 247.5 kilos, 545 pounds.
Wow, Luke explodes up with 247.5 kilos. Oh, Kate on platform 1 hits 147.5, but had a bobble
That's
at the
going to
top.
be no lift, unfortunately. They saw that as up and downward motion.
And that is big. I mean, that puts her a little behind in that battle. And as we remember, Kiara kind of leads the way in the 60 kilo class, but there are so many lifters along with Kate fighting for a podium position, including Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte's coming up for her 150 attempt now.
This is going to put her just 2.5 kilos behind Kate.
Terrence McRae, easy opener at 250 kilos.
Let's see this from Charlotte. It's a bit hard.
That's not budging,
It's
unfortunately.
not budging.
Oh, man. That's not going, unfortunately. She'll be able to come back for that. I imagine we need a little bit of some extra chalk, a little bit of a strong pep talk, and we'll be back for that attempt.
Yeah, and I mean, we've said it time again. We sound like broken records, but that's why you cannot completely trust the forecast total, because if you were looking at that earlier, Charlotte was kind of at the top of the pack, but as we said, some lifters are going to miss their second and third attempts, not going to have as big of a spread on those attempts, and someone could jump ahead.
That's right. And we've got bar loaded for Logan Allaire for the men's 90 kilo weight class. He's going to take a second crack at 222.5. All right, Logan, let's hope we make this deadlift all air. Let's see it, 222.5, a 5 kilo jump. Eric Hogan looking auspiciously in the corner. Oh, man. You know what I think happened there? I think there was just a smidge of a misgroove. So what happened is we came off the floor super fast. It looked like it came just in front of him. A little bit of space between the shins and the bar, and then when that happens, it's a big, tough decision. Hey. It's a tough time to be able to overcome that. But Logan Allaire able to come back for that third attempt. I imagine he'll go 222.5. Eric's a smart lad. He'll know the best call for Logan.
And Kiara making easy work with their second attempt at 152.5. And I think that really shuts the door.
Peter Cosmopoulos is putting in an attempt change for some reason.
Oh.
230 kilos for the men's 90 kg. Where is he at right now?
I don't exactly know. That might not be him putting in an attempt change. That might
okay.
be someone else. That might just be LiftingCast indicating that there's an attempt change in general.
Good pull there from Matthew Dapper on 3. Oh, we're going to have to go back to LiftingCast for platform 2. We've had a few slip-ups over on that platform. And that timing is really it's gonna have an impact on how this lifter is going to approach the bar. I mean, you say, the head referee says bar is loaded, you go out there, you're ready to rock, and they say, wait, not yet. Go ahead and head on back. We are not ready yet. But it looks like they are. Peter Cosmopoulos, 230 kilos. Under over conventional stance of pure peace. Can he find his way up? It's gonna be a slow grind. He's gonna be able to lock it out. Oh my God. But will he be able to get 3 whites? He does! Oh
What
my
a
God!
phenomenal way to end the day.
That has got to
for
be the most
Peter.
rewarding feeling in the world. Literally leaving every single kilo on
Yes,
that platform.
Yes.
Not a single ounce left. Bars loaded for Savannah Bloxham on platform 3. We're on to third attempts for that last flight over there. And we are on to third attempts on platform 2, but we still have a whole other flight to go on platform 2.
You gotta ask yourself the question, does Andrew know the Muffin Man?
Who lives on Drury Lane?
The Muffin Man! The Muffin Man!
All right, now here's Ashton Post, 232.5 kilos. That is a 5-kilo jump, so decently safe. We like to think, anywhere from a 2.5 kilo jump to, even for some folks, a 7.5 kilo jump. That can be decently safe.
Looking at the day in a 7 for 9, looks like.
Oh, big fight on platform 1 from Savannah. Locks it out. Let's see what the judges say. 3
Good
white
lift.
lights.
Now
What a way
Gavin-
to end the day.
Gavin Johnson on platform 3 being handled by Sofia Vieras. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right.
I think so.
National level referee and equipped national champion.
Yep. And
Really?
Gavin in good hands as a handler, and he is one of the lifters in contention for a top 5 placing. I mean, and even the top 3 placing. I mean, from the 3rd place position down to where Gavin is in 7th, only a 5-kilo spread.
Oh, mama.
That is so tight. And Carter, currently in 3rd place, looking to extend it by 5 kilos. Relatively a conservative jump. We could have seen potentially a difficult opener. Let's see what happens here.
That's going to be a no lift for Jaden Schroeder on 1, but a good sport about it, shaking the hands of the refs. Carter Clough.
Wasn't easy, but I don't
3
think
wide
it was
lights.
necessarily, he's got room.
He's got room. It was, for Carter, it was slow and steady all the way through. So he adds 5 kilos to his total.
It's nice to hit that when, especially on 3rd attempts here, others are bound to start missing.
Exactly.
Of course. And that actually pulls him into 2nd for the time being.
Maria
that's
Marty.
such a tight spread.
Platform 1, that's a good lift for her. She finishes off 3 for 3 for the day. Now here's Humberto Chavez. Like we said, unfortunately not able to complete a bench, but able to come back out for deadlifts. This is 255 kilos. That was clean to me. I didn't see the bar dip down. I did see it stop,
It
though.
stopped, but I don't know if it dipped down.
Judges think so as well, 2-1. And that's going to be a no lift for Serena Yan, platform 1. Now, Teresa, if she gets this lift, is going to move from 5th to 4th. Now, she's going to need all of this energy, all of the crowd's energy for that 3rd attempt deadlift. This is all she needs. This is her last deadlift of the 2024 National Championship.
Let's see if she can do it. Moving into 4th place.
Oh, it's moving.
Wow, I think she's done it. Being handled by Crummy there, making the right call on that third attempt. 3 white lights. She has moved
Shout out
into
Crummy, man.
4th place, but now Luca, who is the lifter that she just took 4th place from, is going to respond by trying to jump back into not only 4th place, but 3rd place here on platform 1.
Bronze medal pole here.
Yeah, really exciting lifting going on.
Oh, platform 2 looks like he bobbled at the top a little bit. Oh, never mind. That's why I am not a referee.
Now Luca, currently in 5th place, having been pushed down by Teresa, looking to pull back into 3rd place here. Can she lock it out?
It's not looking
She
like it, unfortunately.
cannot. She ends the day with a 335 kilo total. Probably going to stay in 5th place, given that Charlotte missed her 2nd attempt deadlift and currently sits in 6th place. And that's something to sneeze at. Top 5 at the national level meet.
I mean, we've
phenomenal.
seen a lot of lifters over this past couple of days. A lot of fights, a lot of duels. Speaking of which, Adrian Rapier.
And he, stands up with 265 kilos. That puts him at a 637.5 kilo total, putting him to 3rd place for the moment. Really a tight battle in the 90 kilo class, and it only gets tighter as Nathan Burdick taking a world record attempt.
This is his 2nd one of the day.
Yep, on his 2nd attempt. I believe it's the 3rd one of the day because I think he hit
He
it
did
twice
get his
in the
2nd attempt on squat.
So Nathan is a 15-year-old lifting, contending with the varsity lifters. This is going to be huge for him. This is going to pull.
584 pounds, too.
That's crazy. For a 15-year-old to be knocking on the door of 600, this is going to pull him into 2nd place for the time being.
Come on, Charlotte. Give it all you got. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to have to yell at that side spotter again. Turn it on the gravity gun. It's not going to work for Charlotte, unfortunately, but she will finish out with that opener deadlift.
And on platform 1, Kate, currently in 3rd place, going to be looking to pull into 2nd place. And now let's see it. Nathan, platform 3, huge world record attempt here. Can he lock it out? Yes, he can.
Oh, my goodness.
Pulling it to 2nd place for the time being.
That's a good lift and another world record attempt. But, folks, we're not done yet. We've still got 3rd attempts on platform 3.
Yeah, tons of action here. And on platform 1, Kate, just a little delay here, but she actually missed her 2nd attempt at 147.5. Still, she secured bronze. She secured the podium position.
This 155 is going to put her in 2nd.
Yeah, what do you have to lose? She's going to pull into 2nd. And this is actually a little more than what she needs right now to pull into 2nd. Oh, let's see if she can do it.
Come on, Kate.
Far back there.
It's your birthday.
Wow.
Let's go.
And she, after missing her 2nd
Wow.
attempt,
Already like
what
it's your
a
birthday.
celebration, pulls into 2nd place, and we could see some changes here because, yep, we just saw an attempt change. Caitlin going right after her, just putting an attempt change. She bumped up her 3rd attempt by 2.5 kilos. Now,
So 160.
Yep, so Kate bumped down Caitlin to 3rd place. Caitlin responding by trying to take that silver medal back. Going to be pulling to equal the total of Kate.
We've got Logan Allaire, bars loaded on platform 3.
Check the clocks, check your watch. It's time for some euphoria.
Huh?
I'll explain it later. Shout out Eric Hogan.
Shout out Eric Hogan. That's all we got to say. All right, Sarah Vasquez on platform 2 is going to start off our last flight of the day on platform 2.
And Caitlin really getting focused to pull back into silver medal. Oh my gosh, and I thought she lost
She's
that.
got it.
Can she lock it out? Can she lock it out?
Oh, no, she might have bitten off a little bit more.
Keeps fighting, and it's not gonna go. It's not gonna go.
Good
She's gonna
golly, Miss Molly. What
a-
an attempt there. But at that point, you have to.
Yes,
At
that's-
that point, you have to.
she
Kate was
already-
about to take your silver medal. You gotta. You can't get pushed
gotta
out of the
load it.
podium like
Yep,
that.
what are you gonna do? that's the right call there. Even
Oh
if
my
she missed
gosh.
it, that was the right call. She already secured bronze. Like you said, what did she have to lose? Go for that silver. Try to move up a positioning. That's what we're here for.
Kira Segura, platform 1.
Dude, this is a big deadlift from Kira
I'm
Segura.
saying 374. Currently in first place, slated for that.
Yep, she already, everyone else has lifted. She's got the final deadlift. She already locked up that national championship win in the 60 kilo class, weighing in at 56.3. That is really phenomenal lifting out of Kiera. Really an executionist here that we're seeing from both the 60 kilo class and the 90 kilo class. Kiera already has won, taking a big jump to 170. Can she lock this out? Finishing off the day 9 for 9, and it's moving.
Oh man, that was so close.
I mean, she already had the win locked up. It was a bit of a big jump to 170. That's what we call a YOLO pull. That could have been a YOLO pull since she already
Absolutely.
had the win locked up, maybe trying to go for a deadlift PR there. So Kiera Segura does walk away first place, national champion in the 60 kilo class with a 370 kilo total. Phenomenal
And now,
day
folks,
from her.
that is it. We are done with lifting for the day over on Platform 1. If you've been tuning in, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute blast to be sitting with you today. Hope you're not completely tired of my voice. You'll probably never be tired of Adriana's. She's got a great voice for commentary. I'm just a goofy
you've got
goober.
a great voice yourself. I mean, some consider you one of the
Do
goats.
not. Nope. If there's a Mount Rushmore, I'm the one building it. I'm not even on the list. But that is it for Platform 1, folks. It's been a phenomenal evening. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow if you're interested in catching some of the action, 8 o'clock sharp. Y'all have a good rest of your evening. It's been a blessing. Take care.
Peace.